Let's see if we're back. Yep. Oh. Let's see if this lasts. If it keeps buffering, I'll just shut it down. Yeah, everybody refresh. So far, so good. PineCreek is so calm even when he's having trouble. Yeah, I should have been a surgeon. It's the music. The music calms me. Okay, so I guess I can't say the V word. And I can't say the R word. Can't say the W word. So I gotta be very careful what I say here. Big C word took down the stream, yeah. I mean, that Rasmussen report gets people thinking. No, but you know, people could say, well, what is it? 1 in 4 people believe the Earth is only 6,000 years old in the United States. So, you know, that Rasmussen report doesn't mean anything. That's what they would say. Yeah, let's just talk about kittens, puppies, rainbows. Let's talk about the injustices in the world. And how we can help the oppressed. How about that guy who was on the other day who said he didn't care about his country, the United States? Doesn't care if Hamas comes in. I got him to admit he cares if his mom dies in a mall shooting. Oh, I can't say that word. But that was bizarre. Yeah, with the immigration issue, just talk about Hamas coming in. Use an appeal to emotion. But anyhow, ask me questions. Call in. If you want something for me to watch, you can suggest it. But just know, every minute you spend here with me today, you're saving tons of money because you're not shopping, I hope. What about Josh Rasmussen? No. The Rasmussen Report. Same last name, different guy. Josh Rasmussen is a philosopher who believes there's something other than nothing because of God. Both, Anthony. I had both turkey and ham. Jesus said we are God, therefore God exists. But that's small g. And Jesus said, don't the scriptures say that we are all gods? What is it, Psalm 83? Is that true? Kambale? I don't know if that's true. What do you suggest as a new atheist who is thinking about going back to Christianity? I'm not a new atheist who's thinking about going back to Christianity. My wet napkin hasn't been lit on fire yet. I kind of chuckle when I hear apologists kind of poo-poo the new atheist movement. It's like, I don't know. It's a little bit of desperation. Oh, in the last live stream I did with what's his name, the abortion bad guy. I listened to that back, and you know what I thought of? The people who say abortion's always bad, whether it's 1 day or 9 months, it's equally as bad. They remind me of vegans, actually. It's like vegans are the ones who say if you eat meat, you're a murderer. And if you kill a 5-day blastocyst, you're a murderer. To me, it's just all silly. Oh, yeah, I got it. Thanks, Chen. I did that the first time, but then it went away. I actually hope that people who specialize in debating the abortion topic watch that. Watch that discussion I had with abortion bad guy. Because then I hope they watch it and get depressed. Because they'll see that it doesn't make a dent, their arguments. What do I think about the semi-religious cults building around AI? Yeah, I think it is semi-cultish. Don't get me wrong, the algorithms are pretty amazing, like what you can do with voice cloning, drawing pictures, and so forth. But to think that there's some real reasoning going on there, no. At least not that I've seen. And has like AI's helped me a little bit with this channel, but it really hasn't helped me that much in real life. If Christianity works for you in your life and does not cause you to harm others, be a Christian. That's what Say 10 says. I tend to agree with that. But I'm getting a little tired of just the more you talk about Christianity, the more you actually validate it in a way. Right? Can you imagine if every atheist would just ignore Christianity? That would have upset Christian apologists more than anything else. If they were just ignored, they would have nothing to respond to. Forte. I like your name.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. What's your forte?
PineCreek.
PineCreek? At least you didn't say pine greasy. Greasy. What's up? What do you want to talk about?
I have no forte.
You have no forte. Okay.
I wanted to talk about being a recent like deconvert, or like I used to be a Christian and I'm recently not a Christian. So
what are you typing? Or what are you playing with right now?
I'm playing with poker chips.
Oh, you play poker?
Yeah.
You know I play poker?
Oh.
Do you want? Would you like to play poker with me and some other guys and gals? Yeah. Here, I'll give you my email in the chat here. And then we play online, low stakes but real money, just family home game sort of thing.
Oh, nice. Unlike Bovada or.
No, we use pokernow.club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we use Zoom to see each other and so forth. But your recent deconvert from Christianity. How's it going? Have you become an emotional wreck?
It's going weirdly. uh, not an emotional wreck, but um, yeah, I was thinking about like I don't know, like maybe going back to church, even though I realize that there's probably no God, like just for the benefits that church offers. Like,
Are you married?
like no,
Girlfriend?
nope.
No. Yeah, okay, then go back to church to find a girlfriend or a wife.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the best place to meet them, I think.
because like doesn't religion offer many benefits like reduced like anxiety and depression levels and
Yeah,
like
it does. It people who are religious or have religious communities live longer than people who don't.
so but atheists give that up.
Yep. They give up that
So
community, but hopefully they replace it with some other type of community.
do they just lose that anxiety and depression benefit?
Yeah, I think it's the main thing is community. The thing is, it's really hard to find community based on atheism because atheism means nothing other than you don't believe. So there's nothing. So if you're an atheist, you gotta like instead of going every week to some type of religious activity, you gotta really find something like I don't know, a bowling league or something to replace it with.
Hmm. Let's make a new religion.
Yeah, dudism.
Yeah,
See,
just
I
gather together and say there's no higher power, and then we go home.
See,
Cool.
I was fortunate when I left Christianity that I don't need a lot of people to be happy and content and um like even when I was a Christian, I tended to cause more problems in communities than what it was worth because I would ask uncomfortable questions or I would say uncomfortable things. Um when I was younger, my filter was not as good as now. Now I basically just don't care and but yeah, I would get myself in trouble in religious communities.
Hmm. Nice. You were asking the inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, and
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to.
you just wanted to see my opinion on whether you should do it.
Yeah,
You want my blessing? Go
yeah.
forth, Forte. Go to church and sin no more.
And if I'm questioned at church, then I'll just say PineCreek.
What type of church do you think you'd go
Sorry.
to?
Non-denominational.
Catholic or Protestant? Well, I guess that
Uh,
doesn't make sense. You're implying Protestant when you say non-denominational.
yeah, there's just a bunch of like evangelical churches in town here. I think that's what they are.
You're not Canadian, are you? I don't think you are.
No, I'm uh, in the U.S.
Okay. Yeah. What are you going to do when a person in the church asks you if you're a Christian?
Like, me, yeah.
You're going to tell the truth?
I think it would depend on the circumstance because I don't want to like ruin a relationship, but I also don't want to lie. Like, that's the kind of
Yeah.
internal.
Just yeah,
Like,
be
if there's a
honest.
benefit there, then they'd be like, "Well, why are you in church if you don't think there's a God?" Like,
But there, if it gets out that you're a non-believer going to church, they're going to treat you differently. You're going to become a
okay.
You're going to become their project.
They're gonna try and fix me.
Yep. They're going to become the stereotypical woman. Try to change you.
Nice.
Nice. You want that?
Yeah.
But anyhow, I'll let you go. I got Mr. Rabbit who wants on.
All right. Thanks.
Yep, and they emailed me about poker.
All right.
Mr. Rabbit,
Yo, Doug, what's up, man?
happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Are you married?
To you also. Nah, man, I'm on the die alone plan.
Die alone. Well, we all die alone, I think.
Well, I mean, but well, that's true. Let me ask you something. Do you remember about? I want to say it's about over 6 months ago. You talked to a person in the video on the live. Well, his name was Kent, and the video was titled "I talked to like a newly minted Christian" or something, and he was a pre-supper. And you eventually talked to his fiance, and he did the whole pre-sup thing, came on camera. You would remember instantly if you saw him, but he went by on Discord. He goes by McGruber. On your show, he went by Kent, and you talked to him multiple times. Does that
Okay.
ring a bell?
Yeah, it rings a bell, but not 100%. It's not 100% ringing.
Okay, well, maybe you can go look at it. But anyway, there's an update. So his before fiance became his wife. They actually did get married. And people that know him IRL came on and told me yesterday or the day before or somewhere like that they got divorced already after 2 months. After 2 months. And it gets even crazier. When asked why they got divorced, it was because of pre-sup bullshit. Like the pre-sup stuff she thought was a phase. She thought it would end. He kept doing it online. Eventually, somebody threatened to call his work over him being a pre-sub dick or something like that. And they got divorced. Now, me personally, I said, well, look, you know what? I don't think it's just that. Usually, when people cite things like that, there's other things that are actually the real reason. But nonetheless, pre-sup interfered with the marriage. This whole persona he undertook, this whole thing.
Yeah, I can
Do a
understand
search,
that.
you'll recognize him.
Yeah, well, if he's on Discord with you right now, he can come on in and talk to me. I'll
Well,
counsel
that's the
him.
thing. I mean, I think he's given it up. I think he's given it, according to the people that know him in real life. He's no longer doing the pre-sup thing. Now, does that mean that he doesn't believe in the pre-sup thing? I don't know, but he's kind of thought that pre-sup is not the way interpersonally in his life, dealing with atheists, whatever. Whatever. So there you go. Hopefully you can talk to him again.
Yeah. Well, I don't really like the gossip of people's personal lives, but I do think precepts tend to be more dickish than non-precept Christians. But
Yeah,
I
mean, it's
I
not
also
so
call
much
that woman, the fiance, stupid. Like, why'd you marry? You knew what you were getting. Like, you knew he was a precept before you got married.
Well, I agree. I totally agree. Right. Yeah, I mean, the personal life gossip is, whatever. But it is interesting if he gave up pre-sup, because how do you give up something that you can't be wrong about? How do you how do you give
Exactly.
up something where you're infallible about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just want to stop and give you an update on that. Hopefully, you
Okay.
can talk to him again.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
Thanks. See ya. Xavier. Oh, that's a beautiful sound in the background.
Yes, it is.
I recognize the voice, I recognize the name, but I don't recognize exactly who you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm one of those PineCreekites that you helped deconvert out of religion.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault.
It is. You gave me the final push.
Did I know this before? Or is this the first time I'm hearing it?
No, I told you.
Okay, you told me before. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Why do atheists have less kids? Like, is it, even though it's it's more likely true, isn't this leading to civilization collapse?
That's a good question. Why do atheists have less kids? First of all, I'm not sure if that's true worldwide, but I think secularists have less kids, and I think what's shown in the data is that the more advanced a country is, the richer a country is, the less likely you're to have kids. And I think you can explain this just by looking at the animal kingdom. Look at mice and rabbits. They have a ton of offspring, and then they don't really take care of their kids well. And then because, hey, I got a whole bunch of other spares, and so if I lose 3 of my offspring, I still got 5 left. This is a little bit like how we human animals act. In poorer countries, they reproduce like bunnies. And then because they expect some of them to die, and then they got some spares when it's left over. When you're in a rich country, a more advanced country, I'll use that word, you can have 1 or 2 and take better care of them, make sure they don't die. People hate it when I talk this way, but basically we're animals, and this is how it works. And so, but does that explain why atheists have less kids than, let's say, other humanists or other people in Western countries? Probably not. So why is it? What do you think? I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know why, but atheism is tied to kind of like a little bit of nihilism. It's kind of like, okay, we know we're going to go extinct, so, I don't know, maybe live that way.
Could be.
Yeah.
But most
Like
atheists are not nihilists, so I don't think.
For some reason, it's tied to like leftist, progressive, climate change, blue hair kind of ideology. I just don't know why.
Yeah, that could be part of it, and part of it could just be age. Like in the United States especially, I think, is this true that most atheists are, say, below 40 or below 30? So that could be part of it.
Like I would have listened to atheists much earlier in life if the loudest voices weren't like the atheist experience, all the crazy leftist progressives.
Then you found me and found a reasonable atheist, and you said, hey, I can buy into that.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
No druggies, no, defending, I don't know, prostitution, just some crazy.
Well, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Let's not go too far here. I'm for legalizing prostitution. I just saw a video the other day. Hear me out, Xavier. I saw a video the other day of interviewing Japanese women, and in the Japanese culture, when a husband goes to a prostitute, that is not viewed as cheating.
Wow.
Yeah, at all. And the thing is, it makes sense, because what makes cheating bad? What makes cheating bad is, well, you're breaking your word that you aren't going to do anything. But more importantly, it's about an emotional detachment and reattachment to somebody else. And with prostitution, that usually doesn't happen. It is just merely a pedicure, except different.
Yeah. I mean, the husband has that physical desire much longer than the wife does throughout later in his life. So, got to scratch that itch.
Yeah. So it's very much a cultural thing, and if you can, like, if I even think religious people, like Christians, if they were given a choice, would you rather your husband cheat with a woman at work or a prostitute? I would say 9 out of 10 of them would say with the prostitute. It's going to probably save the marriage rather than cheating with someone at work.
Yeah. Regulations, guidelines, one prostitute per month is probably better than just having to do it in secret.
And who knows? Maybe atheists would. Oh, I don't know. I was going to say maybe they would get married more and have kids more if it was that type of arrangement that, hey, yeah, you can see a prostitute once a month.
But most people won't do this. You wouldn't do this.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Right. It takes crazy leftists to not just admit it out loud, but actually live like it. Like we intuitively we know it's better for society not to legalize prostitution. Or why wouldn't you do it?
Too much work.
Wow.
No, I made a promise to my wife, and I'll keep that promise. But like, let's say, if my wife were to die in a car accident, my kids are, I mean, they're out of the house. I would see no problem with that. In fact, it'd be better to solve the coitus problem through prostitution than through going through all the work of dating and finding the right woman. I mean, if your goal is just to scratch that itch, as you say, why go through all that work?
Right. It's just to meet a need.
Yeah.
Why it's like getting remarried is like starting a new career. Like why do it all over again?
And why risk? Like really, prostitutes are way cheaper than getting married.
Yeah, but you said it. But you just said it. You just revealed the boundary, which is if my kids were out of the house. So intuitively, as an atheist, but you're conservative, you do think like Christians in most cases.
No.
When practically speaking, you kind of live like religion's paradigms. The atheists from the AE, like, you know what I mean? They don't have those boundaries.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I'm not sure exactly what percentage. My guess is still probably a third of people who watch the Atheist Experience. Well, Atheist Experience is basically dead, right? It's the line now. And I would say anywhere from a fifth to a third of people who watch The Line are probably lean somewhat conservative, or at least a little bit right. And then when they hear them talk about the woke stuff, they kind of just, It's the same thing what people who lean left, would they do to me? They love the religious stuff. And then when they hear me talk politics, they just close their ears.
Yeah, I'm having multiple kids, not because there's a God forcing me, but like if I lose two of them to drugs, at least I have more,
I do think that you get more meaning and fulfillment in life if you get married, live. Not everybody, I think, is set up this way or thinks this way. I mean, has this natural inclination. I acknowledge that. Like, I have a friend who's polyamorous, and it works for him. I've known him for now, I don't know, over a decade, and it works. There's been one problem, but they solved that problem. But to be polyamorous, to have multiple relationships, to have an open marriage, it takes more work. You have to be more honest. You have to communicate more. Because everybody has you have more people involved, so everybody has to be on the same page. That's why I think monogamy is better, because it's way easier.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'll let you go.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, to you too.
Black Friday, but
Black Friday, yeah. Colin.
Hey, what's up? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good so far.
All right, cool.
You've never called in before, have you?
I've tried. I've just been really busy. I have a business, and I've been kind of casually listening in on the truck most of the time.
Are you a truck
I
driver?
messaged you once. I own a grease business, so we do all the dirty shit in Houston. For restaurants, pressure washing, grease recycling. As long as, recession, depression, I don't give a shit. As long as they keep frying foods in
My
Texas.
guess is you're doing very well.
I'm doing okay. But you know, I was just listening to that last guy. You know, Hitchens deconverted me. I've always been on the libertarian side.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in South Carolina, that's like a one-party state, like North Korea kind of situation. So I worked for a couple of Republicans, but you know, it's always been funny to me because I came to like atheism through Penn Jillette, probably, who put me onto Hitchens.
Yeah, I like
So
Penn.
that was more my path
I've met him.
than the program.
Have you ever met him?
Oh, they're great guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Libertarian conventions are pretty cool, actually, because you get to meet a lot of people you think are celebrities, but it's really only in like a small group.
Yeah.
So like Nick Gillespie will be hanging out, getting wasted in a bar on the side of the hotel, and then people go out and play in casinos. Libertarians are a lot more fun than the Republicans. I'll give them that.
Okay, what did you want to talk about?
Oh,
Yeah, anything
No,
in
I think, like-
specific?
mostly just how we can. I don't think there's a we, but to create a better narrative of like, hey, this is not just like a far left kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean with atheism, that it's not just a bunch of crazy leftists?
Yeah, like I love the Bible Reloaded, man. I think they're like Hannah and Jake now or something. That was back in the day, like 2015. I watched all their stuff, but you know, they went pretty far lefty. And you know, I just don't see it working. Like I think they're kind of insane.
I do think there is a shift happening now and will continue to happen. Like I think over time, even the viewers of the line will go, well, wait a minute. I mean, just because they lean right doesn't mean they're wrong about everything. And
Yeah.
hopefully some of that reasonableness will make it more like a 50-50 thing.
I think Thunderfoot was a really like good influence in the atheist crowd there. He was constantly going against like anti-woke vibes back in 2015. Did you ever watch any of that? Anita Sarkeesian?
Yeah, I remember some of that.
He really pissed off Richard Carrier and all the Atheism Plus crowd because it's just like, I come out of the Episcopalian Church, which is really funny to me because like there's nobody left in it, right? It's like, like I think they have 300,000 members now, but they're dropping every year and their average age is like 70.
Yeah.
You know, but they have billions of dollars in assets. Like, what are they going to do with like the Mormon Church or the Church of Scientology when everybody gives up on something? Like, there's still a lot of money there. It's like the last Mormons are going to be really incentivized, to stay in Mormonism forever if they own so much property.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen when all these religions or specific sects start dying off? Like, I think that it's really hurting the kids because a lot of them have no sense of identity now.
Yeah, there used to be like fraternity clubs and trade unions, and I'm not always the biggest fan of unions, but like all these different kind of clubs and fraternal societies. I don't know, maybe they might be like a reawakening of that, but like a TikTok version of it.
Yeah, maybe. But those
people...
fraternities have not historically been the best influence on kids either, though.
Oh, no. Maybe there's just a great unjoining of all the different clubs and social organizations. And like, we don't need most of them. No, I don't know. I think it becomes easier where we can have prostitutes and go to bars and meet our friends at yoga and CrossFit and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Like, I think a lot of the mental illness and, I don't know, just crazy stuff that's been happening is because of the drop of religion very rapidly in the United States.
Well, it's had to have something to do with that. But I think some of the counterculture, like how many people describe themselves as trans when it's like, that's like 0.5% or something of whatever the actual gender dysphoria is or whatever it is.
Well, actually, no, it's way higher than that now. In the United States, people who identify as trans or non-binary is, people who identify as any one of those letters is I think 20% now in high schools and I think college level down. 1 in 5.
Yeah, but that's just like, did you ever see the Bill Maher segment? Where there's no way that all these kids are born in New York City and not in like, Kansas. But it's got to be reaction. One, like there's the overdraw from like purity culture that came out in the 90s. And then we kind of, dropped so much of kind of the more Bronze Age stuff. Like I was taught Southern Baptist in a lot of ways too. But then our kids, we never really gave a shit about the rules about Jesus. Maybe that was like holding back a pattern. And maybe they just didn't get enough attention. I don't know. But like they're learning these ways by reacting to a screen. Because it's like you get a lot of different social pressures there. I think it's kind of sad. I've been watching a lot of the detransition stories lately. And
there's a lot of them out there.
It's funny. Yeah. And as a libertarian, I'm like, okay, do whatever you want, but I'm also against like circumcision. So like, but I'm also, you shouldn't sterilize children. I think it's going to be like a real downfall. And you're basically using these kids as science experiments, And like, there's nothing wrong with being gay or doing whatever. I mean, it's way older than, I think sexuality out of Christianity is kind of weird compared to like the Greek cultures or like Egyptian culture.
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what, like, the huge uptick we've seen with trans and non-binary. I think the lockdowns in the United States or around the world had a big part in that. Like, the kids just, I think, went crazy, not being able to socialize. And plus this whole idea that you can get more attention, you can get more love from people, more support from people, at least in school, by coming out as a certain category of person.
There's a lot of smart kids though. I dated a 3rd grade teacher last couple of years, and they've been so much more exposed to everything in the world than I ever was at 8 years old.
Yeah, but is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think they're going to build up their natural bullshit filters. It's just a natural phenomenon. The first time of all communications, humankind coming together in such a crazy different way that no one really could expect it. They're doing it in like 1 or 2 generations, where you see like babies from the very first day, they've got that attention setting or whatever you want to call it, where everything's the next YouTube shorts or YouTube 2-minute videos or TikTok.
Well, even me, like,
I think there's a real threat there.
Yeah,
I do it.
Yeah, I'm an old fart, and I've been conditioned to. Well, it's a little different because here on YouTube, like, I got 2 people waiting right now, so I like to keep things rolling. And and when I'm working, like, I like to be as efficient as possible, and so the whole world is going this way. It's just information super fast.
It's going to change, but we're going to have to deal with that change in a different way. Like, we're going to have to, I think a lot of policies are going to change when the boomers kind of go off. Like, we're going to have to deal with entitlements. I saw a poll the other day that like 80% of Americans want to start talking about entitlements, which would be helpful.
I'm not so sure about that, because there's this idea that some people have in their head that, okay, look at all the young people. They all, are tending towards socialism, or they lean far left, and we just got to wait for those old people to die, and then everything will be different. No, that is 100% false. People change as they get older. And there's probably a lot of young people who call themselves progressive. In 10 years, they're going to be calling themselves, yeah, I lean slightly right. They're going to get married, they're going to have kids, they're going to start their own businesses, and they're going to realize in the real world, it's not like when they were in high school.
Well, I mean, that's kind of why America really deserves a better Republican Party. You should have a lot of guys like me that are in their mid-30s that have a business or are doing something. I should be in their demographic, but they've never actually cut spending. They've never actually addressed those kind of issues that I care about, And I don't care about what bathroom people use. I just don't give a shit about gay marriage, like abortion. Like, I can't believe they even brought that up again. But like, when they're spending so much money that we don't have. And we're going to have to start dealing with these consequences. I think you're going to get a lot of Gen Xers and millennials that are now 50 to 30 starting to be like, oh shit, we got to start really thinking about what we want to prioritize as a role.
Well, I think it's, I don't know. I was going to say, I think it's too late. I mean, the debt is going up so fast. The debt, there's going to have to be some type of default in the future. But Vivek said, you know, if he becomes president, he'll say he'll just cut 50% of the workforce, the federal workforce, on day one. If your social security number ends with an odd number, you're fired. And who knows? Maybe it could work. Like it worked for
Thanos snap.
Yeah, it worked for Twitter. Like Elon Musk got rid of 75% or 80% of the workforce, and it's still up and running. Some people might say not as well, but it's still going. Like you can't deny that.
Well, I think COVID was part of this, that a lot of people do a lot of useless things at work. So they need to rearrange like all the things that have been replaced by computers.
Yeah.
You know? So all the boomers and all that kind of stuff, they kind of had, there's no way replacing those jobs.
I'd even make the claim most people
economies and figure out something different.
I would make the claim that most people are overpaid. Even at
basically what we're
even at minimum wage, I'd make that claim that they're overpaid. See, if you actually took their productivity, what value they add to the economy, I would say maybe it's not most, but a large percentage of people are a burden more than a blessing.
I think it's only going to get more so. And that's why like addressing entitlement reform is really important. Like I think having fewer kids is a great thing. But if we address it and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like we don't have the time to come up with anything new. We can just copy like Australia. Every country in the world's had this problem in the first world where people.
Oh, I lost you. Colin, I'll let you go. I got two other people, but nice talking to you. Who was here first? I think Wes was here first. Hi, Wes. Wes is eating. He'll catch up. Someone asked, am I overpaid? Well, I don't get paid by the hour. When I'm talking about people who are paid by the hour, usually, I'm being paid by the answer. Wes, can you hear me now? Yes, you're loud and clear. What did you want to talk about?
Okay, that's good. Well, I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh, don't be.
I'm from the Netherlands, so English is not my.
Not your English is not your first language. What is your first language?
Yeah.
Dutch.
Dutch.
Okay. Yeah, my ancestors came from Holland, and they speak. My parents still speak Plotdeutsch, which is Low German. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, it's a combination of I think Dutch and German, and but like German, people can't really understand it. They can understand some words. It'd be interesting to see how well you could talk to my dad in Dutch and see if there's any similarities.
I speak a bit German as well. Maybe that would be better for him. I don't know. Like really short introduction. I've been following Dillahunty for a number of years, and I really got sick and tired of watching his videos. I still watch him every now and then. It's just frustrating to listen to him, and I don't know how I found you, but it's much more pleasant for me to listen to some reason and the calmness in your videos. I really like that.
Oh, thank you. But you do know that I've never had an honest conversation, according to him.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you said that once. Or maybe it was his sidekick who said that. But yeah.
All right. So my question is basically about the relationship I'm in with my girlfriend.
Oh,
My
good.
girlfriend is,
I'm an expert at relationship advice. Go ahead.
Yes, I knew. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but you might be able to give me some advice, maybe. Well, my girlfriend is a devoted Christian, and I've been with her for 3 years now. And long story short, I'm basically faking to be a Christian as well.
Oh,
I feel really awful.
good. I thought you were saying you're faking something else, but okay, faking being a Christian.
No, yeah, yeah. Jerk.
And so you want me to tell you what to do?
Well, the way you phrase that, I'm not sure, but
How old are you? Can I ask?
31.
31. I think you're too old to play games. So
Yeah.
I would just tell her the truth. Don't fake anymore.
Yeah, that's a long story short.
Yep. Do you think she'll leave you if you tell her the truth?
Yeah, she might.
What's the chance? 50%? 100%? 90?
I would say 70%.
Wow. Okay. So basically you're asking whether or not you should fake it and stay with this person or tell the open and honest truth and risk 70% of a great relationship.
Yeah, it's weird because I did bring it up to her that I've basically been an atheist since I was 14, and I've been we've been talking about like she saw my books, Christopher Hitchens' books, and she's like,
Well, wait a minute. Does she think you're an atheist right now or a Christian or something else?
Well, she's like, I guess she's also not really sure. She thinks I'm trying to find God, I guess.
Okay. This changes things a little bit. She knows you don't believe. That's a fact.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So by you just being honest with that, you're not really changing anything. She already knows it. And yet she's still with you.
Yes.
So I think your 70% number is way off. Now,
yeah, maybe.
Now, here's the question, though. If you tell her that the only way I will become a Christian is if you take me to the cemetery, pray in the name of Jesus, and raise someone from the dead, then she might leave you.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go, you don't have to, that's not faking it. You don't have to say that. Just say, I need better evidence. Just say it that way. And in order for me to become a Christian like you. And you can be honest with her and tell her all the great things about Christianity that you sincerely think are great. And, but yeah, just anytime you feel inside your mind, no, I shouldn't say this about the truth about yourself, ignore that. Just say it. You're 31 years old. If she really cares about you and you care about her, you'll talk about it, work through it. And if it's a deal breaker, it's better sooner than later. Otherwise, I don't know. Do you want to spend the rest of your life with this woman?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. But if your goal is to spend the rest of your life with this woman and die and grow old together, and there's some deal breaker that's going on that's kept underneath the rug, isn't it better that is brought to the light of day sooner rather than later?
Yes, I completely agree. And this has come up in like when we just started dating. I was much more freely in the way I spoke to her, and I challenged her a lot, and we had a lot of debates. And like it was not really fair from my end to ask her difficult questions, but I sincerely wanted to know like how devoted she was to her beliefs. That's the right.
And how devoted is she?
Well, I mean, she works on Sunday, and I always tease her with that. So
I thought most people in the Netherlands don't believe anymore.
yeah, no, that's true. But she comes from Haiti. Haiti.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. That's
you
that's a
fell
very
in love with an
religious.
immigrant.
Oh yes,
Those immigrants. Ugh.
yes. Yeah, and she became a Christian later in life, actually, and it's like and that's what fascinates me, because like when in her 20s, she yeah, found God, I guess. It's weird, and she cannot tell me what did it for her. It's just the default answer, like a feeling, and I'll tell you later whatnot.
How often do you guys talk about Christianity?
Often. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty often. We go to church on Sundays, and I go with her. And yeah, we pray every day before a meal and before we go to bed. And
Wes,
I
Wes,
pray with
Wes,
her. I mean, I don't
Wes.
care.
I know, but that's not good. I mean, because
No, it's not good. Huh?
Well-
I feel bad. Honestly, it makes me feel depressed every now and then.
but does she
I feel like a
know?
jerk.
She realizes that when you pray with her, that you view this as just talking to her.
No. I do quote unquote pray. Yeah.
I know, but from your perspective, you're not praying to a God because you don't believe a God
Oh, no,
exists, right?
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
No,
So
no.
this is deception. If she thinks, like, my daughter loves to pray with my wife often, but my daughter knows that it's not really praying; it's just talking to each other in a different way, in like a third person perspective way. And so,
Your wife is a Christian?
yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh, okay. Well, no, I
We-
didn't know that.
Yeah, we got lots in common. We're both white dudes, right? You're a white dude.
Yes.
Yeah, who like
Correct.
who like the dark chocolate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're both white atheists who like the dark chocolate Christians, and yeah, but you got to be honest. And if I don't know, like I don't pray with my wife anymore because
Okay.
it just, to me, why pray through this imaginary third party when you can just look at each other and talk if that's what you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do you say
don't-
when you pray as an atheist? What
Oh.
words come out of your mouth?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm always the one that has to pray. Like she always says, "You pray," and then I'll go ahead and pray.
Because
what I
you're the
say
leader.
is,
You're the spiritual leader. You're supposed to be, right?
oh well, I don't know,
Yeah, that's why she says
but
that.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
Wes, no.
It's just the same prayer every day. Yeah, actually.
Okay, say it to me. Don't be embarrassed. What is the prayer? If it's the
Well,
same
I
prayer
am
every
embarrassed.
day,
I'm not going to say it.
is it basically the very general stuff like "Lord, protect us today, help us to be blah blah
Yes.
blah"? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's not that specific. I mean, this is almost like just a meditation type incantation deal.
Yeah.
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 Is she on a visa?
No.
She's a
She
citizen
is,
of Holland?
not. Yes.
Okay. So she's not just using you. Or is she?
No, she's not.
Okay.
No, she's not. No.
Yeah, be honest with her.
She's not just using you.
Be honest with her. Even when you pray, say,
How
"I'm
did that work out for you, though? I'm curious. What happened?
great. We've raised two beautiful children. She knows where I stand. I know where she stands. I support her. I'll protect her. But she knows that not for one second do I think prayer works or has any value to me, other than maybe some type of meditational ploy. I don't go to church with her. She goes to church alone, and then she gets tons of sympathy from the other members.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so it's a win for her.
But does he think you go to hell or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he okay with that?
No,
Okay.
no. But she trusts that God will bring me back someday.
Yeah, well, that's basically the situation I'm in. I just gave in a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know why you need to give in, though. Why are you giving in to the truth?
No, not giving in to like I'm saying. Like I said, I feel like I'm being dishonest. That is the truth. I'm being dishonest because I pretend.
Right. I'm asking you, why are you being dishonest?
Because I don't want to lose her.
You don't think you can replace her?
Do you think you can replace your wife? I mean, that's kind of a difficult question.
I love my wife, like she's the love of my life, but everyone's replaceable. If she dies, I could find someone else if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, we humans
You can say that. You don't really.
No. I mean that. We humans think that oh, I'm irreplaceable, that no one can. No, that's a bunch of BS. If I die, I would want my wife, if she wants, to replace me as a a husband. Sure, there's unique characteristics in me that might not be able to replace, but even then, like, none of us are special. That special. That's a Christian idea, that we're all unique in Jesus' eyes. No. We all have special strengths, I guess, and weaknesses. But there's always going to be people better than me, even at what I'm good at. There's going to be people who are far worse than me on many things. Like, don't think that you have to stay together with this woman just because if you don't, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
No.
Are you a good-looking man?
Yeah, very good looking. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And do you have a job?
What kind of question is?
Do you have a job?
Yes.
Okay. Are you confident?
Yeah, fairly.
Okay. Are you somewhat humorous?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, I know where you're getting at. Like, it should be not too difficult to find. Yeah. It's not like I put all my hopes on her, but when you fall,
well, it kind of sounds like you are. You put all your hopes on her.
Well, yeah, that's what for me. That's what.
And I'm saying don't. I'm saying if she doesn't accept you for who you are, you might consider moving on. And don't be scared that I'm gonna die alone mentality.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You have 2 kids, you said?
Yeah.
Did your wife insist on raising your children in the Christian way, or how did that work?
No, she didn't insist on it. No, but
or like
that's what,
it, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, because she's a Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you deal with that?
When she talks to our kids, she says what she wants to say, and when the kids talk to me, I say what I want to say.
Yeah, that is so fascinating. So it can work.
Yeah, it can work.
Yeah.
But some people will say, no, that's a deal breaker. Just having the words coming out of an atheist's mouth and hitting the eardrums of a child is not allowed. Can't do that. Now, if your spouse is someone like that, it won't work. But my wife is pretty smart.
No, she's not someone like that. No, I wouldn't be with her if she was that extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to hold up the line. You have another call.
Okay, right? I'll let you go. But yeah, I seriously consider my advice. Like, I think it's better to, live who you are rather than kind of pretend. And I'm sure she's beautiful, but there's many fish in the sea.
True. Did you pretend at first when
No.
you met your wife?
No, I'm a
No?
I'm a horrible pretender.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was okay with that.
No, she wasn't okay with that. She disliked
Okay.
it.
But you were just too handsome to ignore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah.
See you, Wes. Good luck to you.
Okay, later, man. Thanks.
Okay, I gotta go faster here. Pissarro. Pissarro. Pissarro.
Hello.
Hello.
I
Turn off
can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I don't know why.
I'll shut down YouTube.
Yeah, turn off the YouTube, but you can't hear me here.
Share.
Welcome, John C. Lee, first-time listener. I am a Christian. Well, welcome, GeoSam. Still can't hear me?
On, off, on.
Okay, we tried. I got other people waiting. I think Oker here was here next.
Douglas,
Hi.
drop your linens and quit your grinning, because guess what I found you?
What did you find me?
I found a study from PubMed that has completed body dysmorphia suicide percentage.
Oh, good. Can you link it?
And yes, how should I send it to you? Email or what?
No, right here in the chat.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
hang on. Before you send it, do you have it in front of you right now?
No, because I'm on my phone. I don't know. Can I swap windows and look at it?
Well, just put in the chat and then I'll bring it up.
Okay.
But you sure it says suicide, not suicide ideation?
Yes, it's complete. It says completed suicides, and guess what the percentage is?
Very low is my guess.
Yeah. 0.3%. You just go and search on page for 0.3%. It'll come right up as
Okay, I got it. When did it come out? This is from
I have no idea.
2007?
I just saw Brett Cooper talking about it.
And completed suicide. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm asking for. Completed suicide.
And they say in the study themselves that there's very little information on actual completed suicides.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Let me get to the conclusion here. I'm trying to find that number you just said.
What, 0.3%?
Yeah. Let me see.
Do search on page for just 0.3. It should come right up.
Hang on, let me show everybody. Oh, this is just suicide attempts and ideation.
It was in that. I think it was near the bottom, though.
No, that's not it.
Maybe I'm crazy. I swear to God, I just saw it, though.
Yeah, see, they use the word suicidality, but I think that's different than actual suicides. They use suicide ideation. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Table 2.
Oops.
Suicide ideation, 57.8%, but the actual suicide is 0.3%.
So 0.3% of a population that's probably 0.1%.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time, that especially young people suck at committing suicide, which is a good thing. They don't know how to do it. And so when you're given this, do you want a dead son or an alive daughter business? Oh yeah, they could do it, but 99.7% of the time they're not.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all I really wanted to send you. But
okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll look at this more in depth later.
Absolutely. Peace.
See ya. And a banana. Hey, Anna.
Hey. I was listening on my iPad. I didn't know you were here with me.
Yeah.
I was listening to the tranny suicide rates. I was just calling just because I feel like I was one of the really, really dogmatic people about everything, like nationalism, conservative Christianity, all this stuff. And once I stopped believing, I just didn't buy into other stuff. What do you think makes people have the personality or psychology to instantly latch onto some other dogmatic religious thing, even though it doesn't have a God, maybe necessarily? Is it lack of identity? Like, what is it like that?
Yeah, I think, well, the easy answer, of course, is it's a little bit of nurture, a little bit of nature. But more specifically, I think if you're raised in a very stable home, with a loving 2-parent home, you're less likely to latch on to just anything.
Yeah, and they were all latched onto that, but we all kind of petered out, except for a couple parents there, here and there. But we were able to, except for my little autistic brother, pull away from the worship services. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did have a pretty stable home. That makes sense. It just breaks my heart when people like have to hop into something else and they have blinders on for everything else immediately when they all of a sudden decide to believe it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But if you look at a lot of atheists who are former Christians in the United States, a lot of them left Christianity because of they were indeed hurt in the church. Like they were sad and they felt persecuted or whatever. You're in Arizona, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can tell.
I was from the west of Phoenix, out past Luke, but I'm down in Vail near Tucson now.
Ah, you're
cleaning out my car.
This is a little scary. You're less than an hour away from me right now.
Dun dun dun.
Is it that windy outside here? It's cold, isn't it? What are you doing wearing that?
Misty.
Aren't you cold?
I'm working.
What do you do?
No, I'm working. No, I'm cleaning out my car, but I am a nurse.
Oh, you're a nurse, but you're cleaning out your car. You're cleaning out your car in the desert? Oh, you got a body in the trunk. That's what you're doing.
I gotta call my neighbor and borrow his excavator real quick.
Yeah. How long have you been out of? How long have you been out of Christianity?
It was weird. I was pregnant like 2015, and all of a sudden I was on my way out. I was Orthodox, and I was getting all ready to raise him, get him baptized, and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, in my living room, I remember specifically in my head and saying out loud, "I don't have to believe this anymore," and I just couldn't believe it. And I love the tradition so much. I want to go back and start singing and stuff, but I don't believe any of it. I just love I love that culture and community. It's beautiful. But.
Well, yeah, if that community accepts you, then definitely go ahead and go back to church, start singing.
Yeah, I feel like I've been asking some people about the morality of like going back, and one side says go talk to the priest and tell him how you feel and everything, and say, hey, are you cool? But then I was like, well, they believe in stuff that's mythical, and me not believing is more harmful to them than just pretending I do. I don't know which one is better.
Well, that's why I said, like,
Do you lie to?
no, you don't lie. Like, I would just say,
I'm not lying, but like just not
it-
go in there and say, hey, you guys don't believe in reality.
I would say nothing unless someone asks you. But to the leadership, like if you're going to sing on some type of worship team or if you're going to do anything in any official capacity, let them know. But other than
That's
that,
what I would do. And also communion, like me not going up and taking the Eucharist would be like a thing. So I'd have to mention it to him.
yeah. See, like I remember going back to church one time years ago, and they had communion, and I didn't partake. But as an atheist, I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me, but it means something to them, and so they would be offended if I took it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like in my heart, I would feel like I was being mean to them somehow by pretending. But it would be like making a meme out of what they believe in when I'm just there because I.
Well, you know what?
So.
I just thought of something. That's a great falsification test, because communion in all forms of religion of Christianity is so important that if you do it sacrilegiously, it says in the scriptures that like bad things will happen to you.
Maybe I should talk someone into doing that.
No, I'm willing to do it. Like I'm seriously considering this. I should go into churches and let them know what I'm doing. Hey, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in this, but couldn't you? I want God to punish me. So would you allow me to take a part of communion here? And
I think probably your presence would scare God off because you would bring demons with you. So
scare God off.
It wouldn't be his body anymore. It would just be bread as soon as the demons go away.
Yeah, I don't think
it works. Oh, it's the other way around.
Yeah, the Christians would not say that God's scared of demons. The other way around. But if I do have a demon in me and I walk into a church, it's obvious that demons are not scared of God either.
So I don't understand why demons are so scary. Like I was watching that, part of that. I couldn't watch the whole thing because they're too creepy. But was it the Billy whatever, that sermon, when they're talking about demons being so scary, if you've got God on your side, then why are they scary at all? I don't get it. It's just like a bunch of dummies like running around acting silly. Jokers.
Well, yeah, I think they would say that they're still a little bit scared because they might be weak in their faith.
Then they can be captured by reading a book on Buddhism, and Satan can get inside of them.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't learn about other religions, because you read about them, and that's how they get you.
You know what I should do the next time someone accuses me of being possessed or oppressed by a demon, which does happen? I should say, okay, command me to go away in Jesus' name, and we'll see if it works.
I remember when Mom accused me of that. That was pretty funny. I should have used that line.
Who accused you of that? Your mom?
My mom. Yeah, one time. I see demons in you.
Well, the thing is, they're eventually going to be right, because if they command in the name of Jesus to go away, you eventually will have to go to the bathroom or eat, and so you will go away eventually from them. So that might not work.
I don't want to take too much of your time. I just appreciate you. I realized today I was singing "You'll Be Back" because 3 years ago that there was a live stream. You started it with it, and the algorithm popped it up. So I've had that song in my head all day.
Yeah, I saw your comment, and yeah, I love that song. Okay, I'll let you go.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Grant. In 5.
Hey, Doug.
Oh, that was faster than 5 seconds. Hi, Grant.
Hey.
Welcome.
If I could, I wanted to talk a little bit about, how did he refer to himself, abortion bad guy?
Yeah, I never got his first name, but yeah, abortion bad.
Abortion. First of all, I just want to say, first time, long time, and I'm in a sort of a situation where I have to keep most of my thoughts to myself, and so you're out here kind of saying things to people that I wish I could say. So it's kind of cathartic for me. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I just listened to the guy, and he was comparing like offing like friendless sleeping hobos to, ending the life of ending a blastocyst or whatever. And I just quickly thought off the top of my head several different reasons why you shouldn't end the life of a friendless sleeping hobo versus that wouldn't apply to the blastocysts. And I just feel like people a lot of times in these situations, they don't think of like the big picture of things, and that frustrates me. So first of all, I think number one, you're not going to find a friendless, familyless hobo. I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah, unless
Number
they're
two,
they're a
if you
hermit
are-
hobo, maybe. But yeah, even then, that's rare.
If you are a friendless, familyless hobo, and we just allow people to kill you, are you going to suffer? Are you going to worry that someone's going to come off and like kill you because you don't have any friends or family?
Probably not.
And third, you're probably going to fail, right? You're not actually going to succeed in killing this friendless, familyless hobo. You're going to maim them or terrify them or whatever, right? You're not actually, the chances of you actually succeeding in like just sending him off into non-existence is basically nil, right?
Well, I don't know
without
if
any pain or suffering.
Oh, without any pain or suffering? Well,
Right.
A shotgun blast to the head is pretty quick.
But what if they wake up? You stumble into their little hovel and, you're standing there with a shotgun.
Yeah, you're right. It takes some planning, and you gotta, yeah.
Right. And finally, and this kind of gets to my fourth point, who's going to be doing this? Who's going to be going around just sending friendless, familyless hobos off into oblivion? And
Yeah.
that worries me even by itself. Like, are we creating psychos here in our world where we're letting people do this?
Yeah, I understand what you're getting at, and this gets to moral intuitions, which some people poo-poo, but another way to just say it is our programming. Our programming is such that we do treat the hobo differently than a 5-day blastocyst. And
right, exactly. And I think that a lot of times the fact that we have these intuitions kind of makes it difficult for us to get at the actual logic of it.
Yeah.
I think there's a logic behind it, and our intuitions kind of interfere with seeing what that logic is. We just kind of know what the right answer is.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the things...
That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
And some of the things you mentioned is part of that logic, that there's no such thing as someone who has zero friends or even zero acquaintances, zero... Like, there's at least one person in the world for any other person where there's at least some type of emotional bond or some type of humanitarian bond.
Honestly, if that wasn't the case, probably most people would choose to end their own life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and most people don't. So, okay. Well, thanks for calling in, Grant.
Thanks.
Destiny attacks this argument of the hobo very well in his abortion discussions, if you're interested. Well, and the difference between the hobo and the blastocyst, of course, is the hobo at least potentially could say, I want to live, whereas the blastocyst can't. Okay, the room's open. I'll go a little bit longer or a lot longer, depending if the conversation's interesting. Why would a woman want to be a Christian? I mean, like, really? Geo Sam. Christianity is way more appealing to women than it is men. Did you know that? Islam is more appealing to men than women. I think what I just said is true. I think that you'll find, well, yeah, it's definitely true. You'll find more men in a mosque and more women in a church. Now, why is Christianity more appealing to women? Because it is less go out and conquer and do. It has more of this just be, grace, mercy, more typically feminine traits. Women are the ones who have children. They do the nesting in our species. And so Oftentimes they realize they're fallible. They can't keep an eye on their kids all the time. So it's very, very, very comforting to be a mother and pray to God to take care of their children when she can't. It's very, very comforting. Even for men, that's comforting. I remember when I was a Christian, I would pray for my children, protect them, because I wasn't around. I can't do it. So God, you do it for me. God is basically the big babysitter in the sky. But then, of course, you know, Christian kids die at the same rate as non-Christian kids, it seems. But then it's God's will, of course. But I think a lot of men stopped going to church because it's just boring. Hi, Bob.
Wow, I can't believe I'm on already.
Yeah, there was no lineup.
This is amazing. Well, you must not be very popular today.
No, I'm not.
I'm calling because I want you to help me become a little more dead inside. Because
Oh,
for the last month or so, I'm having a hard time with my anger levels.
well, who you
I'm
angry
a
at?
veteran. Mostly young people marching in support of Hamas.
Oh,
Mostly people who seem to feel sorry for Israel for about 2 hours and then suddenly it's gone. For people who want Israel to just turn around and say, okay, go ahead and kill us. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Navy, and maybe that's why this pisses me off so much. I'm having a very hard time with it.
okay. Let me help you with that. I think I can help you. A lot of people are seeing what you're seeing and share some of the same emotions as you, and it makes these young people and some older ones just look so schmuckish. I mean, they're in a way. I know you're okay. Prepare yourself. In a way, it's a good thing because there's so many people who look at what's happening of these supporters of Hamas and they just shake their heads and they're calling these kids in their mind idiots, terrible people, and hopefully they grow out of it. So
It doesn't look like it.
What?
It looks like it's getting worse.
But it's one of those things that if you listen to them and let them talk and let them do what they're doing, it does nothing but hurt them. Like even people on the left, I don't know where you lean politically, but
I'm compared to you, I'm slightly left of center. You and I agree almost on everything.
Okay. But even the people,
except every once in a while, you make me roll my eyes every once in a while, but that's just, that's bound to happen. I'm sure I make you roll your eyes. So, but mostly we're in agreement with almost everything.
Like what I was going to say is people on the left, even they look at the people who support Palestine, but as you said, some of them go further. Some go further and say they support Hamas because they're the only ones defending Palestine. That's what they will say. And people on the left, even they agree too. So I would say we're talking about maybe at best 5% of the U.S. population who think and act that way. And the rest of the 95% are just shaking their heads and they have no power. They have no influence. It doesn't really matter what they say. What do you think about a law support?
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I am sure
I
about
mean,
that.
sometimes, you know, crazy revolutions start out small and then they, you know.
Okay, but I'm
French
saying currently
Revolution.
it's small and it'll stay small. Like even this is why Biden's getting flack, because Biden feels the same way as you do, at least in actions. He's
I
still
would think
supporting.
he would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this is why his approval rating is
Well,
going down.
obviously not, because if I were in Biden's shoes, Hezbollah would not exist. I'd have already knocked them out.
Yeah.
And I'm U.S. Navy, so it wouldn't take much for the U.S. Navy to knock those bastards out. It wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And I think everybody knows that. Like it would take nothing to knock almost every country in the Middle East out. If you wanted to do it, if that was your goal. I mean, if civilians were not an issue, Israel could make Gaza a parking lot. Israel could make Iran a parking lot. I mean, with the United States' help, every country could become a parking lot that Israel and the United States would decide. But we don't decide that. But my point is,
how much more can we take? I mean, how many more times do we have to have Islamic fascists? And that's who these people are. I've been to Islamic countries and I know what they are. And I know there's no freedom in an Islamic country. There's no democracy. And I know these kids out there really don't know what they're doing. I know they don't.
Which kids? The kids in the
protesting and doing. Most of them have no idea what they're supporting. They have no idea. But I know that the Muslims love it that these young people are getting in line with them. And to me, I've spent 20 years reading the Quran and the Sunnah and the Surah because of my experiences back in the I was in Afghanistan for a while, back in the early 2000s. And I tried very hard not to believe that this religion is the problem, but I believe it is. And I'm an atheist. I think all religions are bullshit.
But do you know why some people in the United States support Hamas and the Palestinians who support Hamas?
Well, I think there's a connection between the so-called wokesters and the Muslims themselves, because to me, they're nothing but a bunch of whiners.
Yeah.
And if anybody read their book, they realize that the Quran is nothing but hate speech, page after page of hate speech.
Well, so is the Old Testament.
I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, I know. But you're exactly right. The reason why these protesters exist is because they themselves feel oppressed, that the United States has given them a raw deal, or that they have some type of disability or mental illness and they need help. And so basically, if you're poor, if you're the underdog, that makes you automatically right and moral. This is the whole critical theory, oppress and oppressor. If you're the oppressed, you have the moral high ground. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. That's the default position. If you're an oppressor, you can never be right. And so Israel's the oppressor, and so they're never right.
Okay, PineCreek, how do I get dead inside about this? How do I do that? Should I go out and play some golf? I'm a terrible golfer, but I love it.
Okay, I got to ask you this first. Do you want to be more dead inside?
On this issue, I'm not sure, because I really think that
because you have to want it first, Bob.
But if I'm dead inside, would that mean I didn't care? But I do care. I'm 66. I'm probably going to be dead in 15 years, but I still want my country to survive. Yeah. Because I think it's important for the world.
Okay. Yeah. There's one way to be more dead inside is to stop caring, but that's not an option for you because you want to keep caring. But you can still become more dead inside and care at the same time. And that is, you got to in your mind, imagine a partition between your emotion and your rationale. So just keep them in separate rooms in your head. Don't let them visit each other.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay? So on one side of your head, be rageful and angry, but keep that room closed and just open the door once a week and have fun and let your rage go, but stay home in your locked house when you do it, so you don't hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
But 6 days a week, keep the rationale room open. And that way you can say, hey, I still care, I still got the emotional part going there, but we're just gonna keep that door closed. And then once a week we're gonna party in that room.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go, PineCreek.
See you, Bob. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
And thanks for your service to your country, our country.
See ya. See ya.
Oh, Elias wants in. Elias. Bob looks like Doug in 15 years. Okay. Here's our class.
Should
class
have
clown.
put me in with this guy. Bring him in. Bring him back. Hey,
No.
Bring this scumrat back. Bring
Well,
him
hey, Elias, be nice. What's wrong with you?
mother.
What's wrong with you?
This
Why
guy-
are you calling people names? Like,
He should
it
pray.
doesn't bother me, but
He's the reason. I'll tell you, people like this is majority of Americans. This is like 99% of all white Americans. People like this are the reason why every time on Russian news somebody says we should nuke USA, I say hooray, yes, please do it. Like people like this are the reason why every single non-white person on the planet Earth hates people, Americans.
Elias, I'm going to have to ask you to tell me how you really feel.
I'm telling you how I really feel, right?
Hey, and Bob, you're talking about Bob, right? The guy who was just on. Bob, if you're watching, I'm going to give you a clinic on how to be more dead inside. Go ahead, Elias.
Dead inside. These people like Bob, they need to be dead inside, outside, left side, right side, bottom side, upside. All the deads, all the angles in which you can be dead. These people like this, they need to be. They need to be.
No, Elias. You wish him dead?
No, this is not enough.
Careful
People
now.
like
The FBI is listening.
I'm in Russia. What do you mean FBI? We don't know if FBI.
What you mean? You don't
And
think
by
the
the way-
FBI is in Russia?
FBI is a domestic. Maybe you mean listen. Americans are.
You
so
don't
ignorant.
think?
FBI works-
Sorry. CIA.
FBI works-
CIA.
CIA. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't think the CIA is your neighbor? They tell me about you. You got to be careful. You want me to make a phone call?
And they do what exactly?
Well, accidents happen.
Oh man, like I don't care about it. But anyways, let's say,
Bob's
for
cheering
example,
right now.
the Bob's saying like, "Oh, those people support Hamas." I support Hamas, right? I officially give them money, right? In Russia,
What?
Russia, Hamas obviously is a legal organization.
You give
In
Hamas
Russia,
money?
Hamas well, Russia supports Hamas, right? We arm Hamas, right? And there are charities that we can send money to them, right? Okay, I sent officially the money. So what? What do you say about that, Bob? Where's that scumbag Bob? So what? Well,
No, I'm going to speak on behalf of Bob here and on behalf of myself too. Why do you support terrorist organizations?
It's not a terrorist organization. It's a national liberation organization. Is French resistance a terrorist organization in France? When Germans occupied France and the French resistance started fighting the Germans, is the French resistance terrorist organization?
Okay. Fair point. You're basically making the same point that Andrew Tate made, right? That
I don't know what he said about.
He said that one terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Listen, Hamas is designated as terrorist organization only in European Union, Canada, and in USA, as far as I know. Even New Zealand doesn't consider them a terrorist. So
Okay,
it's
so
minority.
I got a question for you about Hamas. Why do they suck so much? They're so bad at what they do.
Bad? Do you see what's going on right now? The entire world hates Israel just because of what Hamas did.
No, the entire world doesn't hate Israel.
Yes, they do. In Russia, we support them. China supports them. China blasts Israel right now. All the African people support us. All the Muslims are united. Even Iran and Sunnis.
Okay, let's assume you're right. Let's assume you're right that the entire world hates Israel right now. So what?
Of course, because of Hamas. Because of Hamas.
Yeah, okay, but so what? What's Hamas accomplishing by that?
Destroying reputation of the entire Western world. Destroying reputation.
The Israelis go, you destroyed our reputation. Boo, 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 boo. Is that all you got, Hamas? Destroying our reputation? Is that all you got?
We're going to destroy much more. We're going to destroy much more. But what's
like
your
what?
argument against Hamas? Like, why don't you support them? Why don't you support them?
Why do I support? Why do I support people who go and?
No, why do you not? Why do you not support them?
Because I view them as a terrorist organization.
Why?
Because they go in and they purposely go and kill innocent civilians. And because they're stupid.
This is lie. This is absolute lie. Where? Can you show me evidence that they do that? I can show you millions of video of Israelis. I can show you video where Israeli soldiers in broad daylight take children, Palestinian children, and break his bones with a stone. You know, it's called breaking bones tactic.
Okay, show me.
They disable.
Put the link in the chat.
Easily, you see how fast I will do this. You see how fast, because I actually do have evidence.
Okay.
Israel.
Although I might be banned from YouTube.
Oh, no, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. That's the most funniest thing ever. That's the funniest thing ever. Everything it's televised. Everything is on YouTube. Where do I put link? Where is that?
In the chat.
Where? Chat? This?
Yeah.
This chat. Here's the video, right? And
hang on. Let me. I gotta preview this first.
It is YouTube video. Come on. If it's on YouTube, it's allowed. It's allowed. And here's entire documentary made by freaking Australians, out of all people. Australians made a documentary on how Israel terrorizes children.
Okay, while I'm looking at this one, can you find the video of Hamas killing innocent people for me?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. This video doesn't exist.
This doesn't exist.
I challenge anybody. Show me where they kill innocent people. I leave Islam right now. You show me this, how they kill innocent people. I leave Islam right now.
Oh, hang on, Elias. This is a game because you'll say they're not innocent. As soon as I show a video of someone in Israel dying, you'll say they're not innocent because everybody in Israel are members of the army. That's what you're going to say, right?
Will I be wrong? Will I be wrong?
See? It's a no-win situation with you.
Answer the question. Will I be wrong? Will I be wrong?
Well, you're not wrong in this. You're not wrong in the sense that everybody has to sign up. Okay,
but they are occupying forces. Listen, PineCreek, if I cross the American border right now without notifying American authorities and they shoot me, am I innocent? Did Americans kill innocent person?
I'm watching the video right now.
Here's the video. You see, you're looking at this right now. Now they're gonna put him down and gonna smash his bones with a stone in broad daylight. Youth. And I sent you a documentary where they're doing it for ages. And do you know why they're doing this? Do you know why they're doing this? They're killing them.
How old is this video?
This is from the 90s. This is from the first Intifada. But do you know why they're doing this? Because they're trying to injure those Palestinian children and then they give them back to Palestinian families. So they become burden on their family. You see? Because Palestinians, they're already starving. They already have barely surviving, but now they have to take care of a child who has no legs, who has bones broken, right? And this is how they psychologically break them down. It's called breaking bones strategy. Check the description. They literally speak about this like in the open. Israel is a terrorist, is an apartheid, fascist, genocidal state. Anybody who supports its existence is a fascist, genocidal maniac. There is no other way around it. It cannot continue. This state cannot exist. Anybody who supports its existence, forget about condemning. It's not enough to condemn them. You must support.
So what are you? So you're basically saying Israel should be made into a parking lot?
No, Israel, political entity of Israel should stop existing. Not the freaking.
Yeah, but how are you going to do that?
It's the same way USSR collapsed. You know, there was USSR, now there is no USSR, right? People stayed, but USSR did not. It's a new country now, right? So Israel, state of Israel, must transform into Palestine, right? The Palestinians should take control of it and create its own state, and Jews can live there, no problem. Jews lived in Muslim lands for like gazillion years. It's no problem. But they should never rule ever again, because this is what happens when Jews rule, right? Those people in USA, they're like Harvey Weinsteins and Jeffrey Epsteins, but in Israel, they actually ruling the country. This is what happens. And
so
and
you
I sent
think?
you another link.
So your opinion is that Jews are inferior?
They cannot rule. They cannot rule. They should never get the ruling man.
Like, do you think this is genetic inside them, or?
I don't know what it is, but this cannot continue, right? These people, like you're seeing it yourself, and I sent you documentary. And this documentary is from the years ago. It's not like now, and it's Australian, right? It's a terrorist state. Israel is a terrorist, fascist state, and it's the only state that is expanding. It's the only state that is annexing land after land after land. No other state does that in the Middle East. Only they're warmongering.
But the Jewish people themselves, you don't have a problem with. It's just the leadership.
If they don't rule in our lands, we don't have problem with them. But they can live.
Okay, so you don't have a wait.
Problem.
I'm getting confused because you made it sound like all Jews are bad, but you're not saying that.
All Jews are bad, but we don't want to exterminate them.
Because you meant
they can stay and do their own thing.
You mentioned Jewish people in the United States. Like, are the Jews in the United States bad?
Everyone in the United States bad. Everyone.
Are the Jews in Canada bad?
Everyone bad in Canada as well. Western world is sick. It's sick and it's poison.
Are the Jews in Saudi Arabia bad?
There are no Jews in Saudi Arabia.
So basically you are saying all Jews are bad.
All Jews are bad, but it doesn't mean that if someone is bad, it doesn't mean that you should exterminate him or anything, right? I believe that all French people are bad, right? It doesn't mean that I call for genocide against them.
So let's say the world takes your advice and that actually happens, and we dissolve Israel like the Soviet Union. What are we going to do with all those Jews?
They can stay, right? USSR fell and the Russians stayed in Russia, right?
They just stay.
Right? So, actually all Jews can go there, but they cannot rule. They cannot rule there. They can stay there. They can live there. Jews lived in Muslim lands for ages. They found refuge.
Can the Jews still defend themselves if they stay?
They won't be attacked. They will have more freedoms under Sharia than they have now, because in Israel right now they cannot practice Old Testament laws. Right? Old Testament laws are forbidden to practice. But under Sharia, they can practice Old Testament laws.
When those evil Jews killed all those civilians in Gaza, don't you think there's going to be retribution upon them?
All the IDF members, obviously, they must be executed, just like the Nazis in Nuremberg were executed. Everybody who supports IDF, everybody who's member of IDF, right? Yeah, these war criminals. There has to be a court. It has to be tried.
You do want to execute the Jews who support the IDF?
Absolutely. Just like everybody who supported Nazi party, he was executed, right? And no problem with that. So it's okay to execute Germans who supported Nazi party, but it's not okay to execute Jews who support the Nazi party of Israel, which is
Bob wants back in, but if I let Bob in,
bring him back. This little weasel, man. I hate people like this. Bring him back.
If I bring him back, the whole thing is going to go crazy. You're gonna swear at him, and
come on, we are platforming you basically, right? You're like Piers Morgan, right? You're just gonna grift the farm, the views. Bring him back.
Because Bob is not.
He said so much. He said so. He had so many things to say. Like, Islam this, Quran says this. Bring me, hey, you little weasel, come on in, bring all these claims. I'm gonna debunk every single one of you and spit on your face, filthy American. This is why people hate America. Like, look at the face of this scumbag, of this scumrat, and then never ask why people hate America.
Bob is not. Bob, I'm sure can bring a lot of useful information into this conversation, but he's not dead inside like I am, and so it's gonna be a big dumpster fire if I let him in.
You get views anyway. Why are you crying about this? You get views anyway. Bring him in. I want to talk to this guy. Man, Americans are just unbearable, man.
Hang on. I gotta make the room bigger. Hang on. So I'm going to lose you, but you'll be right back. Why am I doing this? Okay, Bob. Okay, Bob.
Bob, you little weasel, man. What an evil man. You're gonna burn in hell for so long, man. You have no idea what awaits you. Absolutely no idea. You terrorist piece of crap.
Elias.
Why? Of course he's
Elias.
It's only the
Elias, you do know Bob. Hang on, Elias, let me introduce you to Bob. Bob is an atheist who doesn't believe hell exists.
He's a white American. I know everything about him. I know everything. You're all the same.
Hi, Elias. How are you?
All you white people from USA, you act like from the factory. It's like you're not even human. Somebody like makes.
I'm also part Jewish. You might want to put that in there too, huh?
Oh no!
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Now
That's
it all
it.
makes sense.
How about this,
Now it
Elias? I'd like to read something to you, Elias.
So the Nazis did all these things to you, and now you want to do this to other people, right?
Sir, a 929.
Okay. This idiot doesn't. He thinks I don't have an answer to this.
Who are they? Who are they? Fight those of the people of the book who do not believe in God in the last day, who do not forbid what God and his messenger have forbidden, who do not obey the rule of justice until they pay the jizya promptly and agree to submit. You want me to keep going?
Yeah,
let's let messenger obey God.
Let's let Elias respond to that.
Going, Elias,
can I speak already?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I speak?
Yep.
Am I unmuted?
Nope. Yeah, you're unmuted. You've been unmuted for a while.
This guy thinks like I'm a first grader. Like I'd never heard this in my life. Read the first 6 verses of the same chapter, you buffoon, блядь, ёбаный мудак.
Who did your prophet curse on his deathbed?
Because they are evil. Of course they're going to get cursed. All the evil doers are going to get cursed.
Jews and the Christians.
He just runs away from this topic.
Look at your own literature, you idiot.
He just changes the topic. He doesn't let me answer.
Okay, so Bob, let's let Elias talk for a minute.
Read the first 6 verses of the same chapter 9, pretty much self-explanatory. The verse 4 in the same chapter clearly says, accepted are those with whom you made a treaty. So if you have a peace treaty with disbelievers, do not touch them. If you don't have a peace treaty with them, or the peace treaty is expired, then you are in a state of war with them, and you are allowed to continue fighting.
Okay, hang on.
Verse 12 and verse 13 further reinforces the fact that it talks about those who broke the treaty. Okay, you ignorant monkey, you American stupid idiot, learn to read.
Elias, wasn't there treaties made between Palestine and Israel before?
They don't recognize Palestine. No, they weren't, because Israel doesn't recognize the existence of Palestine. They cannot make a treaty with them.
No, wasn't there some treaty made with that guy they brought back? What was his name? He always wore the head thing. What was his name, Bob? Remember?
Yasser Arafat? No,
yeah.
He's not part of the Hamas. He's not part of the Hamas. He's PLO. He's like traitor.
Okay, but there was a treaty made with PLO, right?
PLO, yes, but Hamas is not PLO.
I know.
PLO we condemn.
So if the Palestinians voted for PLO instead of Hamas, then there would be a treaty in place.
No. Democratically, Hamas came into power democratically.
I know, but if there was a vote taken tomorrow and Hamas was voted down and PLO was voted in, that treaty would stick, according to the Quran, right?
Those treaties are already long gone. Those treaties
there's an expiration date on treaties? If they...
Of course, they made a treaty with that scumbag, PLO guys, right? So there are no PLO no more. They are all pretty much gone. They do exist, but they're like insignificant now. Hamas rules the show now, alhamdulillah.
I'm very familiar with the PLO. I got 14 of my Navy corpsmen killed in 1983. I've never forgotten that.
We're gonna come to you too. Don't worry, we're gonna come to the USA. We're gonna hunt down every single one of you. You're all gonna answer. You're all gonna answer. We're gonna break your skull with a stone like you do it to Palestinian children. You're gonna answer for every single thing you did.
Hey, Elias,
People
we
make
already, hey,
America-
Elias, we already been through this. Like, I've already told you that it's a fact that the state of Arizona could take out Russia. So we don't, I mean, come on.
Yeah, they can take out Russia. They cannot take out Palestinians. That's for sure. So you got debunked. You got debunked, Bob. I debunked you 929.
Oh,
What
yes,
else do you
you
have?
debunked
Come on,
me, all
entertain
right.
me. Entertain me, you weasel.
You
Entertain me. What
debunked
else do you
me.
have?
You debunked me. I'm
Yes, I did.
humbled. I'm humbled by your intellect.
Yes, and then you'll be humbled in hell as well, but where you gonna go,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
I tell
yes.
you what, I'd rather go to hell than the paradise that the Muslims have imagined.
Yeah, because paradise, our paradise is only for good people, for real men as
For
well.
people
But
who
you
have
are not.
penises
You're
that
not
like
men. You're not men.
go
You're a
on
weasel.
forever and ever.
You're
not a
like
very nice place
castrated,
for a woman.
eunuch, and impotent, right? You probably like men as well, right? You probably support LGBT, right? Right, Bob? Are you gay, Bob?
I
No,
wouldn't
just
say I
genuine question.
support it, but I believe in freedom.
I want to ask Elias a
Freedom
question.
for-
Elias, I want to ask you a
except
serious,
Muslims, right?
serious question about your technique on how to dialogue with other people. Like when you're talking
This
to
is
it.
not people. I don't consider him as human.
Okay, let me just ask you this. What is your goal to talking to Bob this way?
No goal. I just want to blast this little
Okay,
scumbag. And then
okay,
the
okay,
goal-
Elias,
that
you
what
have no
happens to
goal.
USA is
Elias, you, I think, pride yourself in being a rational human being, right?
not with those animals. Animals deserve
Because it
nothing.
sounds like you just want to be a child with a temper tantrum right now.
This is not child. I debunked him. I debunked him intellectually.
Okay,
and now
good. Why don't you
I
stick to
take
the
my victory lap.
debunking? Why don't you stick to the
debunk.
debunking and forget the child? Like you seem like just an emotional person who just like he's an atheist, and threatening him with hell does absolutely nothing. You know that weasel. I'm sure it doesn't hurt Bob's feelings, but it's not helpful. You're wasting time in saying all these words. Why not just focus on very calmly focus on the facts?
I gave him facts. I debunked him, and then I took my victory lap. Okay, this was my victory lap.
Oh,
It's like in WWE, when he wins, he gets like right and starts like
What a
hyping up.
shallow life you must have if you're taking a victory lap over what you just said
over a
last
terrorist sympathizing
I'm
American
a terrorist.
colonized.
I'm
Yes,
a terrorist.
yes, you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist because you support the terrorist state of Israel that tortures
Okay.
children.
All right.
Do Palestinians have the right to defend themselves? Bob, tell me. Do Palestinians
I
have
would
the
say
right to defend
yes.
themselves?
If they were attacked, they have the right to defend themselves.
Okay, so Palestine is not occupied right now.
Well, it probably is now by the IDF, but on October 7th, it wasn't occupied.
Oh, really? It wasn't occupied. So
It was occupied by Hamas.
What is the internationally recognized capital of Palestine? Bob, tell me. What is that?
I'm not sure if there is an international. I don't know, Elias.
You're actually correct. There isn't any. There isn't de facto. There
Yeah, I
isn't.
didn't think
The
there
capital of Palestine
was,
doesn't
but-
exist de facto. But according to international law, capital of Palestine, right? According to United Nations, is East Jerusalem.
Well, the
Now, tell
United
me,
Nations doesn't have legal authority over much of what it does. So
what the hell? It does have legal authority. It does
No,
have
they
United
do
Nations
not.
have legal authority over the
no,
whole
they
world.
do not. The United
Well, de
Nations
facto,
doesn't run the
factually,
world.
Factually, they do not. Factually, they do not. But legally, right, according to international law, people have
And
to.
by
abide
the
by it.
way, the United States gives the United Nations about, I don't know, we're about 28% of their budget. What's Russia?
Russia gives a lot. Russia invented. the
No,
United
they
Nations.
do not.
Yes, they do. Yes, the Soviet Union
It's
invented
about
the United
12%
Nations.
of the
The
UN
Soviet Union was
budget.
also the first country to recognize Israel. Here's a fun fact for you.
Hey, Elias, I got some questions for you. You said that Israel is occupying Gaza.
It's occupying West Bank, Golan Heights, and East Jerusalem, and obviously Gaza. Yes.
Because one thing that's been confusing me is I've often heard that Gaza is an open air prison.
No, it's a concentration camp. It's a concentration
Okay,
camp. It's
who
not
owns
involved in
who
terrorism.
who
Concentration.
who
It's
runs?
not a concentration camp.
No, actually,
Israel runs it.
let's give him that because it's going to backfire on him. Elias, who runs and operates that concentration camp?
Israel. Israel controls all the access.
Okay,
for
Elias,
everything that goes into it,
Elias,
that goes
how
out.
can they occupy a region, a piece of land that they own and control?
They own it according to their constitution, but according to United Nations, it's part of Palestine.
Right. Well, but even practically, they own it because you yourself said that they run, operate, and own that concentration camp.
Yes, they do. Yes, just
Okay.
like Germans
So how
own
can
the
you
Auschwitz.
occupy something that you already own and run?
Well, according to them, they own the entire freaking the region, right? Their
No.
officials, Israeli officials.
Even according to
they say
Gazans,
Jordan.
even according to Gazans, wouldn't they say that Israel owns and operates their concentration camp?
Yes. So what's your point? I don't
How
understand.
can you occupy something you already own?
That's literally the definition of occupation. When you own something that.
So do I? Okay, then I occupy my house. Yes, you're right. In that sense, I'm an occupier of my own home.
Just like Russia, according to United Nations, Russia occupies Crimea, right?
But you make it sound
Because
like
Crimea-
occupation is a bad thing. Is occupation a bad thing when I occupy my own home?
When you occupy your own home, it's good. When you occupy other people's home, it's bad.
On what basis would you say that the Gazans own that if they don't run it, they don't control it? How? In what sense do they own it?
They don't own. That's the whole point. Israel owns it. Israel owns.
So
it.
it's
Just like
Israel's
Russia owns
land,
Crimea.
right?
No, it's not.
Would they own it, but it's not theirs?
Is it Chinese?
You're contradicting
China
yourself.
occupies Germany. If China occupies Germany, whose land is that?
Who owns it?
If China occupies Germany, whose land is that?
If China occupies Germany, whose land is
Yes,
it?
China invades Germany, occupies all Germany.
Well, what I'm getting at is, what does that term "occupy" even mean if someone actually controls it and it's theirs? This is what
Why
wars
you
are
playing
for.
Semantics? I don't
No.
understand. Why are you playing semantics?
What I'm saying is, if someone owns land, like even the Native Americans in the United States, which you often bring up, when a war is fought and the Native Americans lose, is that stealing?
This is occupation, annexation, and yes, it is stealing. Yes, it is.
No, it comes to a point where a war was fought, they lost, it now changes ownership. Right?
Yes, and continue, and what's your
So
point?
I'm feeding into your narrative of what you're saying that Israel are occupiers. I'm saying no, they're not occupiers. They now own it.
Owning something is occupying PineCreek. Oh my God. Owning something is occupying. Russia owns Crimea. Russia occupies Crimea.
So Israel owns Gaza.
Israel owns Gaza. Yes, it occupies Gaza.
So
yes.
anybody who tries to take Gaza away from Israel would be now occupiers.
Well, there is a rightful occupation and there is like a bad occupation.
There we go.
Right? If Germany attacks France and occupies France, like this is bad. But if French people occupy France, this is good. Okay? Because it's their country.
If Germany attacks France and wins the war, they now own France. It's now German.
And French people don't have the right to fight back.
No, and where do you get that from? They can fight back, but this is what wars are all about. If France fights Germans, and if Germans win, now France becomes Germany. Maybe it'll call it Fermany. I don't know.
Okay. So and then French people will start resisting, right? And they will make a French Hamas, and they're gonna fight the Germans, right? And they're gonna win eventually. Probably.
Or they can figure out a way to surrender and make peace with the fact that they lost and move forwards.
Well, if they like being cuckolds, right, and if they like the fate of Native Americans, they can do that. Yes, sure, of course.
I think you
right?
talk
But
this
we
way
don't
because
do
you
it.
realize that the Hamas is outgunned. They have no power.
No, it's not. Hamas is winning. Hamas is winning on the ground, and they're winning informationally. Do you know that they just signed a peace ceasefire? Because the Jews, they cannot advance, right? They are just stuck there.
How
They're
can they be
getting
winning
massacred.
if, like you yourself would say that more Palestinians have died than Israelis, right?
Actually, soldiers-wise, no. Soldiers-wise, Israeli soldiers died more than Hamas soldiers. But civilian-wise, yes, because Israel he hits the.
Isn't it Hamas's job to protect civilians?
Yes, and this is how you protect.
And they're winning if they're. And you say that they're winning.
Yes, they're winning because the goal is to kill Jewish soldiers, right? After all the Jewish soldiers,
hang on,
there will be peace.
This is interesting. What's the bigger goal for Hamas? To kill Israeli soldiers or to protect Palestinians?
And this is how you protect, right? This is how you protect Russia from the Nazis.
Okay, but then they're failing if you admit that more Palestinian civilians have died than Israelis. They're failing. Why can't Hamas protect the Palestinian people?
More Russian civilians died than German civilians, but eventually, right, we won. Right?
You're saying it's going to come. Okay, so your argument is that they're losing in the short run, but they're going to win the long game.
Of course, they're going to win the long game. Right? The Jews don't even have like a good demography, right? This is why they're importing Jews from all over the world. Do you know how many Russian Jews are there? And those Russian Jews who went from Russia to Israel, they cannot even speak. Forget about speaking Hebrew. They cannot even speak English. They can only
Why
speak
did they go? Why
Russian.
did they go to Israel, Elias?
Because you know why they go. We know why they go to Israel. Because Israel has a policy. If you have even one ancestor. Right? If you have even one
it's not
who is
because
Jewish,
of anti-Semitism in the former USSR.
Listen, if you don't, first of all, anti-Semitism is a stupid term. Arabs are Semites.
Well, okay, pogroms. Would you like pogroms about killing?
Yeah, I love them
Jews
very
in
much.
the
Now I
USSR?
love them much more. Now I love those pogroms much more. After seeing what Jews are doing to Palestinians,
Yeah, you
I
would.
love
You're
them
just
much
revealing
more.
who
I
you
hope
are.
they happen every day. I hope they happen every day because you deserve it. You deserve it because we have to stop you. Because you are terrorists,
This
you're
is
genocidal
Islam.
Maniacs.
Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen, this is
Islam
Islam
stands
for
for
you.
justice against oppression. Islam stands for justice against oppression. And in order to
Justice, what
have
is justice?
in order to
According to
have
you, how do you
justice, have to
define
eliminate
justice?
evil people like you?
Oh, I'm evil, huh?
Yes. You literally were saying to PineCreek like we should flatten all those people, all the Muslims are evil. You're literally making those blanket statements. How is this not evil?
Did I ever say that?
PineCreek, did you hear that guy, Stuart Seldon?
No, I said that, not him.
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
I don't think Bob said flatten. I said if Israel wanted to, they could flatten, but they don't want to. And Elias, you got to admit that's true.
Well, of course it's true. Like if Russia wanted to destroy the world, it would destroy the world. Like what is this argument? Like we don't go by woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? We go by what actually.
Well, I would disagree. I actually don't think Russia could do it.
Yes, Russia. We have a dead hand. It's called dead hand. You know what dead hand is? Meaning when Russian government fails, Russian nukes, they automatically nuke Russia, and with Russia we nuke the whole world, right? Putin said that if something happens to Russia, we're taking everybody with us. So yes, we can destroy this. And PineCreek, can you please put this video on the screen? It's a short video. It's a short video.
Well, no, I was going to show you. I already showed one of yours. I was going to show one of mine.
No, can you show this, please? Please do me a favor. PineCreek, please.
Do me a favor. Do you think you're worthy of favors?
Well, actually,
yes, I am. This is a short 2-minute video.
I'm gonna get out of here. Elias,
of course you're gonna get. Why are you running? Why are you running?
Because you're boring the shit out of me.
Boring, man. You got.
But I do want to thank the Russians for helping us.
Go join your Ku Klux Klan where you belong. Go find your cap. Ku Klux Klan waits. Ku Klux Klan is waiting for your arrival.
Well, Bob,
go join them.
Bob, what did you say? You want to thank Russia for what?
I want to thank Elias for the fact that the Russians helped us defeat the Nazis. We couldn't have done it without you.
That's true.
We did that alone. We did that.
No, you didn't do it alone, Elias. That's bullshit.
We did that alone. Nobody. We were helping nobody. We were alone in this war. Not a single American soldier died on the Eastern Front. Not a single American soldier died in Stalingrad.
Not a single Russian died at Pearl Harbor.
In what? In what?
We weren't in Stalingrad. How could we die there?
Yeah, exactly. But the war was in Eastern Front, right? Western Front was a freaking joke.
Okay. All right.
We won the war, and we won against the Japanese too, right? You did nothing. You killed only Japanese civilians, like you Americans
Well,
always do. Like
I'm
you won
glad
against the
to know
fishermen
that your
in
Russian
Japan.
education has done you well, buddy.
Yes, Russian education is amazing, right? Your education is a joke. This is why you have all those crazy people in USA who think that if they chop off their private organ and they pretend to be other gender, that they are that gender, right? Yeah, your mom's there. Yeah. Hide your wife. Yeah. She came to give you a slap. Come on, Bob. What's going on there? Introduce us to your wife. Right? Is she an
Okay, let's mute Elias. He's getting a little too... Well, Bob, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll remove Elias as well. Enough of the dumpster fire. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
I hope you don't want to talk about Hamas and Palestine and Israel, but maybe you do.
No, I don't. I don't at all.
Okay.
I talked to me a couple weeks ago. I'm a 5-part Armenian theist.
That's right. I remember.
Dog
you.
bark.
Yeah, I remember.
Dog bark. Yeah. So you thought I was going to want to talk about
No,
Hamas and all that?
No, you talk about whatever. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to ask you about your music.
Which music?
You used to play the tenor, I believe, and maybe you still do. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to ask. Well, you used to play tenor in the church, and your wife played the piano and sang, I think, and kind of leading the worship music and all that. Wasn't that right?
Yep. I played alto sax and tenor sax. Yep.
Yeah. So what happened to the music? Did you?
I had
lose
kids.
The music when you.
Yeah, I had kids,
Pardon?
and my career took off, so I was too busy, and I left church.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, I miss it a little bit.
I think you. Pardon?
I miss it a little bit, but not too much.
You don't miss it too much, huh?
No.
Well, how about your wife? How about is she still singing and playing in the church?
Oh yeah. She's on the worship team.
And you don't miss playing at all?
A little bit, I said, but not too much. I don't miss getting up early on a Sunday and doing all that work.
Yeah, sure. But how about during the week, like weeknights when you come home from work and you want to sit back and or relax and get your horn out and play a little bit, and your wife could be playing along with you on piano and maybe singing the song or something?
I get a different horn
Wouldn't
out.
you like that?
I get a different horn
Pardon?
out. I get a different horn out during the weeknights.
Not a tenor or a alto, huh?
No, it's a big baritone.
But really, I mean, wouldn't that be fun? I mean, wouldn't you like to do that?
No, not really.
That's too bad.
Yeah. That's
So
too bad.
your interest in the horn and playing and everything was all just because of your belief in Christianity?
No. I played the saxophone in school quite a bit, high school.
And then you played through the church and everything, and then when you got out of that,
Dog Bark,
you gave it up.
Dog Bark, you didn't seriously call in just to talk about the saxophone, did you?
I'm curious because I have a theory that that music, your relationship to music, and I don't have any Bible for this. I guess I'm bad, but that your relation to music and everything has a big difference on what's happening to you spiritually. And so I was trying to see if the if you're negating Christianity and becoming an unbeliever was coinciding with your giving up playing the horn.
No, it's the other way around. My outlet for playing the saxophone was the church. I gave up the church and Christianity, and then I gave up the saxophone.
Yeah. See, I'm saying, well, why you gave up Christianity, but why give up the saxophone?
Because I already said I had during the same time I had 2 young kids and a career, and I just didn't have time for it.
Oh, a lot of people have careers and kids and stuff, and they find time to play if they really want to.
Okay, Dog Bark. Maybe this reason. I just lost interest. How's that?
Yeah, that's okay. But whatever reason. But I'm saying I have a theory.
Okay, let's hear your theory.
Yeah, my theory was that you left Christianity, you left belief, and coinciding with that, there's an interest in music that left you as well.
That's not a theory. That's what actually happened.
Yeah. Well, does that make any sense to you that was why it happened?
That's what happened, but help me understand what's the why here? What's the hypothesis?
The hypothesis is that if you're a believer, the music moves you and you want to play and you want to worship God with it.
Okay.
When you become an unbeliever, that interest in music could also die with your belief in God.
True or false? There are atheists who love music and play it all throughout their life. True or false?
Sure, that's true.
Okay, so that means your theory has just now been, and not just a few. Like I would say, there's probably the same percentage of atheists who are musical as theists, and who have interest and play for the rest of their life. So that kind of destroys your theory, doesn't it?
Not really, because I'm thinking, see, the timing on your thing. That's what I'm talking about. The timing of playing and giving up the faith and leaving up music seem to be simultaneous.
Well, that's because when you have, I didn't know a lot of people outside the church who also played music, so I had no avenue, no place to play other than the church, and I didn't want to go out seeking new places to play because that takes effort and time to build relationships and whatever, and I was busy with other things. So,
but your wife, you got a built-in band at home. You got your wife, and as your kids grew up, maybe they would play too, or maybe they already do. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this topic is boring me to tears. So, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, this may sound a little derogatory, but I don't mean it just for that. I was wondering why your channel has become so tedious and boring. And I asked my unbelieving friend, because I used to listen to you all the time. Every show I would catch your shows. And they wait a
minute. This is the second time you've been on, right?
Yeah.
So you only come on to my show to talk to me after it becomes tedious and boring?
No, I don't watch the show anymore. I just call. I only
how did you how did you know I was live right now?
Huh?
How did you know I was live right now?
Well, my unbelieving friend told me. Actually, I wouldn't have known. But he says, "Hey, PineCreek's on. He's taking the call."
So let me get this straight. You don't watch the show, but you have friends that do, and they let you know when I'm on, and then you decide to come on.
My one unbelieving friend does, sure, yeah, because he knows I want to come on the show.
Why would you want? Why would you want to come on a boring and tedious show?
Because I want you to be saved. I want you to come back to faith.
Why?
And I want you to get out the horn again. I want you to get out the horn and start making a joyful noise. That's why.
Why do you want me to be saved?
Why do I want you to be saved?
Yeah.
I wish that for everyone. I wish everyone was saved.
Saved from what?
Saved from yourself.
Can you be more specific?
Your sin. And your sin is being tallied up, and
so are you saying I will? Are you saying if I would go back to Christianity, I would sin less?
Hopefully, but I guess there are slip ups. We do still keep sinning.
Okay, I'll ask you again.
We have a sin
saved
nature.
If you want me to be saved from what? Saved from sin. Am I going to sin less if I get saved? No. So what exactly is the benefit of being saved?
The benefit of being saved is you're in the right relation with God, and that's good and that's fun. Being
I'll have more fun
out of relation. What?
I'll have more fun.
Yeah, you have more fun with God.
I mean, there's guys who sleep around and they have a ton of fun.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fun.
Yeah,
I mean, they may have a certain amount.
You got
a certain amount of fun for a time.
Yeah, for a time, you got to admit that's
sin
fun.
For a season, sin for a season is great, you know. But that ends and it's not fun.
Didn't Jesus call you to suffer?
Yeah.
That's not fun.
It's not all he called me to. That's part of the thing. He also called me to rejoice in him and to be happy and
rejoice in your sufferings. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, for the sufferings you may endure. I didn't even have to look that up. I still got it.
That's James chapter 1.
Yeah. So tell me again why I need to be saved? Because if I get saved according to the scriptures, I will suffer.
Yeah, but you will do a whole lot more. Also, a lot more positive things besides suffering.
Like what?
Like what?
Yeah.
Well, like I'm trying to explain about your horn, you would have a joy that you would pick up that horn again, and you would want to play. You would want to play with your wife again, and then she would sing, and you could play, and you could be in church, and you could be rejoicing in God.
Hey, I'll let you in on a little dirty secret. When my wife and I played together, we often fought because about music, of how something should be played or not played, and we don't fight anymore. So you want me to get back to playing the saxophone so I can fight with my wife about music?
Well, if it's just about music, I guess it wouldn't be too bad of a fight. You got to decide how you're going to interpret this particular song or whatever.
I can't believe you want me to.
That's a fight that you can live with.
You want me to fight with my wife? I mean, that's terrible. As a Christian, you shouldn't say that.
I shouldn't want you to play music with your wife?
If it leads to fighting, I sacrificed my music for the sake of my marriage.
Oh, boy.
Gotcha. You don't know what to say now, do you?
Huh?
You don't know what to say now.
I could try me again. I'll see if I can come up with something.
No. Let's get back to me being boring.
Okay.
Do you think I'm boring?
Let me get back to the tedious and boring thing.
Do you think I'm boring?
Like I said, pardon?
Do you think I'm boring?
Now you are. You were not a few years ago. I used to listen to every show.
What? Can you name some shows that you remember off the top of your head?
Well, I particularly liked the shows where you went into Christian topics and stuff that my church never went into because they were kind of on the edge, you know. But I had run into them in my reading of the Bible, and you were discussing them, and I thought, wow, this is great. I want to hear about this one. For instance, one comes to mind, William Lane Craig was talking about atonement theory and like the 7 types of atonement theory that he mentioned. Do you remember that?
Yeah. There's Victor Christus and a debt payment.
Yeah, all those kind of things. See, we never went over that in my church. I don't think any church goes over that kind of stuff normally.
Okay, do you understand that for you that was interesting, but for other people that was boring?
I don't think it was boring. That's why I watched the show.
That's not my question, Dog Bark. My question is, do you understand that for some people, atonement theories is very boring, but for you it was interesting? Do you acknowledge that?
Oh, yeah. I realize that. But I mean, your whole show is about God and unbelief or belief. And there's going to be a lot of people that have no interest in that at all anyways.
Yeah, but even within that category, like there's so many different topics. And basically, I feel that I was repeating myself. There's no new thing to say.
There's nothing more to say?
Like, you name any topic off the top of your head, and I bet you I have a video on it.
So you're kind of running out of topics? No, I'm really not trying to be critical, as it may sound, but I just want to know. And so you're running out of topics.
There's nothing.
Played them out.
Like, I'm serious. There's nothing more to talk about with Christianity.
Wow, that's and that. But
would try me. Try me. Name a topic that you think I should cover that I haven't covered.
Yeah, maybe you have a point. My unbelieving friend said similar. He said you probably talked to all the big shots you can get a hold of and stuff, and gone through it with them and everything.
I have videos. I have videos on the historicity of Christianity, on prophecy, on eyewitnesses, on Old Testament origins. I have videos on near-death experiences, on presuppositionalism, sensus divinitatis. You name it, I got it. It's already, all you have to do, if you think I'm boring and tedious right now, just cycle through my old stuff.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, but you are tedious and boring now, right? Because you don't have those subjects anymore. You've already done them. There's nothing to listen to.
Yeah,
as far as this subject is concerned.
Help me, Dog Bark. What should I do?
What should you do?
Yeah.
Well, besides becoming a believer, you should try and make it more interesting somehow.
Yeah, I mean, well, be specific.
For example,
just don't come on here and say I'm boring and tedious. Give me specific advice that I can.
Okay, I'll give you specific advice.
Okay.
My friend I've been talking about, that's an unbeliever. He has a channel called Sacred Hogwash. And he mocks Christianity and New Age and all different kinds of religions, and he's very entertaining. He picks up all kinds of clips from different things.
Wait a minute. You're a Christian coming on here, and I ask you to help me be more interesting, and your advice to me is to mock Christians?
Well, you're already mocking Christians.
But
I'm saying if you're going to do it, make it interesting and fun and entertaining.
Okay, how
like my friend?
Well, be specific.
Like my friend does.
What does your friend do? What does your friend do specifically that make it interesting? The mocking part.
Oh, he has. He doesn't have people just standing there talking or something like we're doing here. He has all kinds of very interesting clips of things. He doesn't talk at all on his channel, actually.
Oh, you know why he doesn't? You know why he doesn't talk at all?
Why?
Because that takes skill.
Well, okay, maybe he doesn't have any skill, but he sure got some skill putting his videos together.
Sure, he probably doesn't have a.
Yeah, he does.
Probably doesn't have a job either.
No, he's one of those computer guys that works remotely on stuff.
Well, maybe he should work for me. He can put the clips together, and I'll put it on my channel. Unless his channel's bigger than mine.
You know, his channel is small. That's one of the problems. Because
wait a minute. If he's exciting and more interesting than me, why is his channel so small compared to mine?
I'm going to tell you. Because during his, like I said, it's not just Christianity that he puts out, but also New Age and different things. And one of the things was had this guy that was supposed to be real smart and have all the answers to everything and stuff, and the channel people were praising him how great he was and everything. And then he became a female, and my friend that has this Sacred Hogwash channel, he says he made a video of how ludicrous that was to have this guy that's supposed to know everything and real smart and everything, and now he doesn't even know what gender he is. And so that
hey,
put him
this
on
is interesting. I thought you were going to come on here and say I became boring because I went into politics, but it sounds like Mr. Hogwash guy is going into politics too.
He didn't mean to. He was just criticizing that particular belief system.
Oh.
And it became politics because somebody
he stole one of my videos.
Somebody at YouTube or something said, "Oh, we can't have this guy on here. He's mocking the transgender people."
He's a friend of yours. He's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
I just noticed 3 years ago he just lifted one of my videos and added no value to it. It's just If I wanted to, I could.
Oh, he picked up one of your videos to put on to his.
Yeah, look at
put
this.
some on his. Yeah, he's used some of your clips on his. Yeah.
No, I'm not just a clip. Well, okay, yeah, it's a clip, but look at this. This is on his channel. It's 18 minutes long, and I'm scanning through it. I don't see him anywhere. I don't see any additions, value added. Your friend's a thief.
He's just showing your program only?
Yeah. Is he a Christian?
I've never known him to do that.
Oh no, you
Pardon?
said yeah, he's an unbeliever. That's why. Yeah, he doesn't have any morals. Yeah.
Well, he has morals, but that's neither here nor there. Because I've never seen him just play your channel and try to take credit for it. That I know he's used clips of your channel.
Well, no, he no, he didn't.
What's this one called?
It's called PineCreek.
What's this one called you're talking about? Pardon?
It's called PineCreek clips the wings off Mike Winger and puts him in the Pine box, but he doesn't link to my channel. He's a terrible.
He doesn't give you any credit whatsoever?
Well, he mentions my name, but he doesn't link to my channel. Say, hey, if you want to see more of PineCreek, go here. You know, it doesn't do any of that.
Oh. Well,
I usually at least try to. I try to put the links to anytime I talk about someone. There's probably a few I've missed.
I guess he has that fall. I'll have to remind him of that. But like, what? Let me give you another example.
Hey, if he's so interesting and if he's more interesting than me, why is he using my stuff?
Because he likes some of your stuff. You used to have a lot of really.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was years ago. Yeah, but again, there's no clip. There's no clips there. It's me talking to another person.
There's no clips of you talking to another person. You're talking to Winger.
No. Okay. Thanks for coming on, Dog Bark. If you were a little smarter, I'd keep you on, but. And whoever is Dog Bark's unbelieving friend, stop telling him when I'm live. If he doesn't know I'm live, he can't call in. Any theist with a higher IQ willing to call in? Having the show is keeping the masses from shopping. That hurts the economy. I thought you were a capitalist. Oh, I don't mind slowly shifting from a consumer-based economy to a producer-based economy. I'm not against that, Floyd. Mouth breathing, not good. Yeah, you got the hairs in your nose help filter pollutants. So it's always better to breathe through your mouth. Maybe that's a good argument for not clipping your nose hairs. You men out there, let your nose hairs just grow and grow and grow, and you'll stay healthier. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to that. PineCreek gives conspiracy whack job medical advice, saying men should grow their nose hairs as long as they can. News at 11. No, Dog Bark's main goal there was to try to trigger me. He tried. Amazon Friday's great. But, you know, I'm hearing, I don't do a ton of shopping on Amazon, but my wife does. But I've read stuff that Amazon is not the cheapest place. You can actually get taken for a ride buying off of Amazon. But there's people who can edit me to make me look handsome? Oh, yeah. I think the home office in Wichita have been trying that for years. Anybody else want to call in? Abacus? Arbicus? Arbicus? They got a lot of 40. Yeah, maybe I should buy a new Samsung. What is it? The S25 today? Is it on sale? How often do you guys rebuy your cell phones? You should at least try to get 4 years out of your cell phone. I think I'm on year 4 of mine, so maybe I should upgrade. By the way, if you want to save money, don't go through Verizon or the big carriers and get those, cheaper deals. You're paying it monthly through your membership. You're better off paying for your data and your minutes as you go, and then buy your phones for cash. So if a Samsung costs $1,000 or $800, whatever, pay the $800. You're better paying $800 with a pay-as-you-go type plan than paying $300 through a company like Verizon. Unless you use a ton of data, a ton of minutes. '23 Ultra is great. Okay, I'll look into buying that. The Tab S9 Ultra. The Tab? What's that? Is that, who makes the Tab? Is that still Samsung? And Elias, if you're still listening, just thank the Americans for what they did in Korea. It's because of the Americans we have Samsung. South Koreans, they're just flourishing. Thank the Americans for Toyota. It's because of World War II and the rebuilding of Japan. America number one. I like triggering Elias. Oh, tablet. I see. Anybody else want to call in? Talk about something controversial? We've already covered abortion and Hamas thing. What else is interesting? Euthanasia. Maybe we should talk about euthanasia. That's similar to abortion, though. I think it's okay to kill people when they get older. In their sleep, you take a pillow. No, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Put them on ice floes. That's what we did in Canada. Once you get over 80, you go up north to Nunavut, go up to Churchill, go in the Hudson Bay area. Put them on a piece of ice, push them off. Maybe give them a Samsung S25 to play hearts with as they die. Yeah, youth in Asia. Let's talk about youth in Asia. I mean, they're really good at math, the youth in Asia. Do Jews go to heaven if they don't believe Jesus was God? No. That's a bit of a plot hole with Christianity. The Christians love the heritage of Judaism, but yet, man, they still end up in hell. Maybe some other time. Need to get some things done here. That's not how the women treated me in high school. They didn't say maybe some other time. When I called upon them, They answered. In fact, the girls in high school were way better than Jesus. When you call upon the Lord, crickets, when you call upon girls in high school, at least for me, as like, they answered. Oh, I just had a memory. The Pope says they go to heaven now. Well, who cares about what the Pope says? What do you think? He's infallible or something? Just a man. Sorry, Catholics. But the Pope gets urinary tract infection just like anybody else. The Pope drinking cranberry juice. Oh, look who's here. I hope you got. Well, what do you want to talk about? But my guess is, aren't you tired of talking about Hamas and Israel by now?
Yeah, but someone came on and spoke to you about it, so I thought I'll add my penny's worth. Someone was talking to you about everyone is bad in the world and we need one Palestine. Believe it or not, there are Jews who would support that one. They call it a one-state solution, where everyone who lives in Israel, Palestine,
yeah, I've heard that,
equal rights. Everyone, how about that? Everyone having equal right, the rule of law, one man, one vote.
Sounds like a great idea in theory.
There's a. Have you heard of a book called The General Sun?
General Sun.
Miko Paled.
No.
If you Google it, you'll see it. His grandfather. He's a Israeli, Jewish Israeli. His father fought in the 1967 Six-Day War. Was a general, and his grandfather signed I think the Declaration of Independence for Israel. He himself is very critical of Israel, calls it an apartheid racist state, and he now lives in America, USA, and he believes that the only way forward now, because a two-state solution is impossible because of all the land grabbing that the Israelis have now done. So he just thinks that the best solution would be a one state with equal rights for all. Interestingly, there's a professor, I think she's international relations. She is President Netanyahu's niece. She's also in America, and she has disowned, or one way or another, she's been disowned by her family, calling her uncle a racist and other things. She's a professor in America. You can Google her.
Why are you telling me all this?
I'm saying that there are Jewish people who would kind of agree with your previous caller. So it's not just a.
I know, but why are you telling me that? I mean, so what? That there's people who agree with other people.
Just in case you thought it was just a nutter from a Muslim background, there are Jews as well who would support that. So I don't like people being put into camps. There are nuances.
Are you talking about Elias? Did he say that?
No, he said everyone's bad and everyone should live in a Palestinian state. And Jews are bad. The French people are bad. The Americans are bad. So I don't know who he thinks is good, but the general idea of a one state, it would be supported by some Jews. Although I don't know whether you've heard of Norman Finkelstein. He doesn't support a one. He thinks if we had that situation, the Jews would be swamped in the end by a majority. So that might not work.
Is there recent polling data out of, let's say, the West Bank or Gaza about one state solutions?
No, it's not supported. Most people won't support it, but
in Gaza Strip, most people don't support that.
Not a one state solution. Okay. I don't think they know what they want anymore, because it's impossible to have a two-state solution at the moment.
Do you think a one state? Anyway, do you think a one-state solution should be forced upon Gaza or West Bank?
To tell you the truth, I don't know what the solution is, but I know that killing people, stealing their land is bad. Good or bad? It's better than what we have now. Anyway, last time you were speaking, you talked about no contradictions in the Bible.
Well, I said that if you define contradiction as like a true contradiction of X not X, where you can't wiggle out of, there's your best solution would be Numbers, like when, in fact, in the book of Numbers, there's a couple.
There are definitely those. But let me put you. Do you know the one about when Jesus told his disciples to go off and I don't know, preach or minister to Israel, Palestine? He's told, I think in one book, Mark, he said, "Don't take your staff, just go."
Actually, that's one of the. Yeah, I agree. That's one of the better ones.
Yeah. So, Christians are very clever. They try to get out of it, but I don't think it works. They say that in one book he meant just get going now. Yeah. So you've got your staff in your hand, and then in the other, so I don't think it works.
See, but anyway, my advice to Christians and to Muslims both is, and well, I guess to everyone, my advice is stop using the word contradiction. Instead, use the word tension.
We have to use contradiction though. Do you know why?
Why?
Because of the Quran. The Quran tells us that if it was not from God, there would be contradictions. There would be many contradictions. I don't know whether that means that we are allowed one or two, but anyway, the Quran says if it was not from God, there would be many contradictions.
What's the biggest?
And the implication?
Yeah, I understand, but what's the biggest alleged contradiction in the Quran? Alleged that you've heard other people say.
Alleged. Well, the thing about 6 day. God created the world in 6 days, which could be six epochs. However, if you add up, there's one verse in which it says first day, second day, third day, blah blah blah. When you add them all up, it seems like 8 days are being mentioned, because he created this on day one, this one another day, this one another day. However, whereas it's resolved by when you think about how these days could have merged one into the other. Otherwise, I don't know what you might call a true contradiction.
Okay, so if I were to say that the Quran is not from God because of that contradiction, you would say, well, that can be resolved by merging 2 days into one. You're doing the same thing the Christians are doing when they have harmonization.
Kind of, because if you think about God creating the heavens in one epoch and the earth in another, surely the earth being created is part of the heavens as well. So it is logically resolvable, So
I know, but can you see in your own self that you're doing the same thing the Christians are doing?
I understand what you're saying. We're harmonizing.
Yeah, you're harmonizing.
That harmonizing is a logical sort of harmony. But saying take your staff in one book of the Gospels and another book said don't take your staff.
Yeah, Jesus just meant at different times. It's like saying don't eat supper now, but you can eat supper later. Like,
no, it is at the same time. Mark and it seems like Matthew was reading Mark.
If you could just strip yourself of your hatred for Christianity, you would see that this harmonization is logical.
We don't hate you. No.
Sure you do.
What you're saying.
You hate Christianity because, well, you hate Trinitarian Christianity because it's blasphemy, it's idolatry.
It is, but can't say we hate them because the Quran tells us the closest to the Muslim is the Christian. So,
but you hate. Let me rephrase. You hate. Yeah, well, I said it right the first time. You hate Christianity because it's blasphemy and idolatry.
What is hate? We're supposed to protect. In the Quran tells us protect the monks.
Don't you hate what Allah hates?
Yes.
Does Allah hate idolatry? Yes.
Yeah.
Does
So
Jesus as God, is that idolatry? Yes. So you hate that form of Christianity, Trinitarianism.
If every Christian can accept that Christianity is idolatry, but they don't. So we have
it doesn't matter what they
suspense.
accept. It matters what's true. And Sam, hang on, I'll let you in soon.
Yeah, I'll go now. But we're told in the Quran we have to protect their churches, because in their churches the name of God is mentioned. So we can't really
that's what I
hate
like
them.
about Elias, the Muslim who was on here previously, the Russian Muslim, because he would say, Doug, you're right. Christianity is idolatry. It is blasphemy, and Allah hates Christianity because it's a distortion of the truth.
Then ask him, why are we supposed to? Why does Allah in the Quran say we have to protect their priests and their churches?
Well, you can still protect the adherence to Christianity. Yeah, that's fine. But the religion itself is based on a lie. A true Muslim should say.
Okay, well, one last thing. We are allowed to marry Christians and Jews. So how can you marry someone you hate? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So you have to ask him. You can't just accept everything he says.
There's a difference between hating Christianity and hating Christians. I said it very clearly.
No, if you have a Christian wife, you have to. If she wants pork, you have to go and buy her pork. If she wants to go to church and pray to the Trinity, you have to let her go and do that. How can you hate someone who does that and love them and marry them? You've got to. These haters, you've got to put them on the spot sometimes. You can't just accept everything they say. Anyway, Frank, you've got other people waiting.
Yeah.
I'll speak to them hopefully. Take care. Bye.
Elias, I know you're back in, but I already said what you were going to say, right? What's up?
Come on, I'll be right back. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Looks like you're happy.
Yeah. So I was just I was kind of curious about like what Thanksgiving's like at the PineCreek household.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same as when we were a big, happy Christian family. The only difference is we don't pray before we eat the turkey and ham. Well, actually, my wife does. She prays to herself.
So do you guys have relatives over and all that stuff?
No, they're 2,000 miles away.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a little different than what
I became a real man. I cleaved to my wife, and I've left my family and went 2,000 miles away.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Because I guess I have a family that is very opinionated, and we all get together pretty much every Thanksgiving, and this is the first Thanksgiving that I've had where I'm not a Christian, and so and we've always argued and stuff, but I feel like this time I've just been shutting my mouth and just I don't want to cause huge arguments, you know what I mean? But definitely I've had plenty of opportunities to, because I have very, very Christian family, and they be wanting to preach and stuff, and they were talking about Job and stuff, and I was just how she loves Job and how all this stuff, and I'm just thinking of all this stuff that I'm oh man, there's some terrible things about Job as well, but I just shut my mouth.
So did you just keep your mouth closed, or did you ask very short questions like the advice they gave you last time?
I've already gone through that stuff with them. It's nothing new for them. You know what I mean? So it's I'm not trying to rehash old stuff with them. They're just gonna not. They're very set in their ways. They're not wanting to have a conversation, especially not in front of the cousins and everything. You know.
Have you done the proof or drown on them?
Yeah, they don't like hypotheticals. They're one of those types of people.
Oh yeah. You can't imagine things, yeah.
I did recently go back to my first appearance on your show. It was really interesting. It was 7 or 8 months before I actually left the church, and it was really interesting going back and seeing what was going through my head at that point in time. Like, I thought it was pretty, like,
yeah,
just interesting kind of going back in time, you know?
Yeah, it's even interesting for me to watch myself from like 5 years ago and how I've changed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted to check in.
Well, I'm glad you kept your emotions in check and you kept the peace.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, see you,
All right,
Stan.
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Sam, the main man.
Hello?
Hi there, Sam.
Oh, hi. It's my first time calling in.
Welcome.
Well, I wanted to ask, I've seen like some videos on your channel, and some of your older streams pop up in my recommended sometimes, and I've seen a fragment where you watch a video by Frank Turek.
Yeah.
And you say, and the thing is about God's omniscience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's like a relevant question anymore, but anyway, you say that it's like it doesn't make sense that if we have free will and God knows everything, then there's somehow a contradiction. And I'm not sure there is.
Yeah.
Could you explain that?
Sure. The problem that philosophers see, and I saw it when I was a Christian without reading any philosophy books, that if there's one big if, which is maybe what you don't understand. The big if is that time is like an object that you can look at. It has a beginning, an end, and it's kind of set. Now, if you disagree with that premise, then you can sort of wiggle out of the problem of omniscience. But the problem of omniscience goes like this. If God knows the future, our timeline, not his, he can be outside of time, that's fine. But if he knows the future from our timeline, from beginning to end, then whatever he knows will happen, will happen. So for example, Sam, if God knows you're going to die at the age of 80, he knew that before he even created you. He said, okay, I haven't created Sam yet, but I'm going to create Sam. Sam's going to live to a ripe old age of 80, and then he's going to die of a heart attack. Guess what's going to happen? If God is real and if God is omniscient, if that's true, you're going to be created, you're going to live, and at age 80, you're going to have a heart attack and die.
Mm-hmm. So, but I'm more about like asking about more towards free will. Like if...
Okay, yeah.
Because I've seen... Yeah.
I can explain that too.
Yeah, so, okay. Yeah.
So free will, that in this conversation, free will is typically defined as the ability to have done otherwise. So it's almost a retrospect definition. So when you had your Thanksgiving meal, if you had one and you ate ham, but there was also turkey and you chose ham, could you have chosen the turkey? So it's always after the fact, what could you have done otherwise? And so that's how people define free will. But if what I said earlier about omniscience, you're going to die at 80, that means of a heart attack, that means you would have no free will to, let's say, take statins or take exercise or even to commit suicide earlier than 80, because then God would know wrong. So you would not have the ability to have done otherwise. So there's a huge tension between free will, the ability to have done otherwise, and God's omniscience.
Well, but if there is an ability to do otherwise, it's just a possibility. So God just knows what you will do, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, I've heard this.
He doesn't actually, make you do the choice. And so it couldn't have happened otherwise because God made you do
this
it.
Is a very
he just knows, and that's it.
Yeah, this is a very common pushback. But when people think of free will, they often think of coercion, like so I was forced to do something. Free will is not defined that way in this line of thinking. It has nothing to do with coercion. It has to do with the ability to have done otherwise. So stop thinking of free will as, oh, I can do this at my own will. Like nobody forced me. So you can't think that way. You have to think of it in terms of, could I have legitimately done otherwise? Without, who cares about force? It has nothing to do with force. And if God's omniscient, then the answer has to be no. And if time is set like an object. Now, there's different theories of time, like to get out of this. People have like B theory of time or whatever. But if you believe in a sequential time frame, like from our vantage point, then whatever God knows to happen will happen. Otherwise, God knew wrong, and God never knows wrong, so therefore it's going to happen. What he knows is going to happen. Now, to your point about God just knows what you'll freely choose, this kind of loses its oomph because God knows before he even created you. So in order for that to stick, you would have to say that all your free choices that you'll ever make has to be coexistent, eternal past with God in order for what you're saying to work. Because God came first, you came second. So if God knows you're going to do something, your choices technically don't exist yet. Now, if you say they do exist, then they have to be coexistent with God as long as God's existed, which makes you eternal and basically God. So,
okay.
Yeah, so basically God creates you. Even if he gives you this thing called free will, it's basically an illusion because whatever God knows is going to happen, it's going to happen.
So it all comes back to the fact that it's at the very beginning just God's creation. Or do you mean like more like I've been, I don't know, given to my parents as a child, and that's how God created me? Or do you mean like the whole universe and everything God created me, and that's why?
Ultimately, it doesn't matter like what I mean by it. Ultimately, most Christians believe God created everything. That's physical, right? Or even spiritual. I mean, God just is the beginning. He's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He created everything. And one of the things he created is free will, but it doesn't matter. If he knows what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Now, some people get out of this problem by saying God doesn't know what's going to happen. He can only predict what's going to happen based on current facts, just like you and me. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the next hour to me or you, but we can predict, well, as long as I stay in my office, I'll probably get a little more tired, maybe thirsty. That's that. Like, we can predict, but then most people feel very uncomfortable saying God's the perfect predictor rather than the perfect knower.
So, well, yeah, of course, God, let's say God knows, but you and I don't know. So at that point, like you would say that like to me, the choice is free to do something because I don't know what's going to happen and what I'll choose. So it's you say it's just an illusion, right?
Yeah, you're describing sort of naturalistic determinism right now. And what's very funny about this is Calvinism and naturalistic determination have almost, I mean, they're in lockstep. They have so much in common. Like the branch of Christianity called Calvinism will say exactly what you said. We don't know the mind of God. We don't know what he knows. So we act as if we're free, even if we're not. Now they'll define free a little differently, and we still make choices. We still have free choices, but ultimately what's going to happen is going to happen. And they'll point to verses like predestination type verses that some vessels are created for destruction, some for his glory. Before in the womb, God knew you, like it says in the Psalms. They got scripture to defend this.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I thought that I wasn't very into Calvinist ideas because I really think that we have free will, at least in like very moral things. Because I watched like one debate, or not a debate, a discussion between Richard Swinburne and Alex O'Connor, and I like the way Swinburne put it, that like, of course, like if I'm hungry, I'm forced to eat. That's not really a free choice. But if there's some moral dilemma, then I'm free because there's like,
yeah, but is
I'm
choosing turkey or
choice.
choosing ham a moral choice? No, but most people would say they're still free. They could have chosen otherwise.
Yeah, I think this kind of actually a mix maybe is kind of makes sense to me, because yeah, some things are not free to choose. We are not free to choose, but others maybe we are.
I actually think the whole free will versus determinism type discussion is kind of boring, other than in religion. Like if you posit an omniscient being, then it becomes interesting to talk about. But if there is no omniscient being and we're just all, humans, materialistic humans, we're still going to act the way we act, whether we're free or not. We're still going to make these choices. We're still going to put people in jail. We're still going to say you're bad or you're good based on our actions. So nothing's really different. I know people like Sam Harris will say, well, we really can't blame people if we're deterministic because of the genetics and whatever. No, you can still blame people we can still encourage personal responsibility. In fact, we know that there's certain cause and effects that work. Like by me causing something, it affects other people. We know that's true. And sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. So even if everything I'm about to say in the next 5 seconds has been predetermined, who cares?
Yeah. All right. Well, you gave me something to think about.
Are you a Christian?
Nominally I am, but like I'm looking for opinions and answers because I'm figuring it out. I kind of gave up on it like when I was a kid, but well, I'm thinking.
Are you between the ages 18 and 22?
I'm in my early 20s.
Okay, you're 23. Okay. Yeah, you're right on the edge. If you're not a Christian in the next year or two, you probably never will be. You got a small window. If there's any Christians listening, you got to find Sam and help him quick because he's running out of clock. unless Sam, you'll become a Christian maybe in your 30s if you get married and then she divorces you and then you start being addicted to drugs and you go bankrupt. Then you might be so desperate that you'll go to Christianity. But if you become a normal, productive member of society and you're not a Christian by now, you probably won't be.
Yeah, I hope that dark timeline never happens.
It sounds like you're a pretty reasonable guy, so you should be okay. Just, marry well.
All right. Thank you for your time.
See you, Sam. That's a great way to end a stream with Sam. That was good. Japheth, why do you have to vent in my live stream? Comment. Take a breath. Don't you know the rules? You're doing better now, but don't you know the rules of live streaming? If you comment, once in a while you can do 2 comments in a row, but never 3. You always got to let other people talk in between you. Ben, my life will be complete if you call in one day. If Ben calls in, I can finally end this desperate search. You're welcome, Jamie. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Remember, ask short, simple questions of those of who you love. Be a little more dead inside. Keep that door to your emotions closed at least 6 days a week, and then swing it wide open for one day. Poof. No, that didn't work. Poof. That worked, yeah. Oh, yeah.